2 and us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another night of MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. I'm Matthew Cartier, here in the booth with Dan Dwan, hoping to see some good Modern tonight.
Yeah, it should be a good time, and we've got a classic for you on round one.
Yeah, so we'll throw it down here. We've got Nicholas Wilde on the right, up against Vincent Adinolfi on the left. Nick is playing Death Shadow Jund. Vincent is playing blue-white
Cards?
Blue-white cards. There are a few red lands, though. So what basically Vincent is doing is he's playing a blue-white control deck of the style that we've seen become relatively popular on Moto these days, with the slight exception that he has a Nahiri package in this one. So while blue-white Nahiri may be a little bit of a questionable moniker, I think it's probably the best way to sort of denote what Vince is playing, because he's not playing Lightning Bolt, he's not playing Helix or Electrolyze, which
right,
I know
it's just
hurts
a blue-white
him
deck
deeply.
with like
blue-white deck with a very, very light splash for everyone's favorite, Nahiri the Harbinger.
Yeah, I mean, Nahiri just a good card to isolation, plus it kind of gives you a way to win the game on the spot.
Yeah, winning the game is not something that this blue-white deck does particularly quickly.
Right, the blue-white deck has always struggled to close the game out. Like, getting hits with colonnades and stuff. Like,
Elspeth is slow. Gideon is slow. Yeah, so, Nahiri plus Emrakul. Blue-white Nahiri. Vince may also have, like, some number of main deck, like, Runed Halo and stuff, just, like, wonky sort of enchant. This is more of a tap-out build, so you have lots of Supreme Verdicts, you have Detention Spheres, you have Spreading Seas. But you do also have some of the obvious elements of, like, Cryptic Commands and instant speed spells that you would normally find in a control deck. Sure. Also, this deck has some number of Ancestral Visions for draw power.
Right.
Well, it's either Ancestral Visions or Sphinx's Rev, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Similar, but not exactly the same. The core of the deck is similar to the one that Greg Orange played to, I believe, a first place finish at GP San Antonio. He was on a team with like blue, white, and then there were some other decks that I don't remember off the top of my head, but. The archetype seems to have some legs, especially like in a format where it's no longer hampered by not playing Lightning Bolt. Mm-hmm. It seems great. That was one of the biggest things that I really think sort of stopped it before this, is that you needed to play Lightning Bolt, or you needed to there were blue-white control decks that existed, but they just weren't as prominent. Or you could make an argument for playing Jeskai, but Lightning Bolt is historically bad right now.
Right,
like historically bad.
Yeah. I mean, there have been times where Bolt has not been great, right? During the Eldrazi nonsense, it wasn't great. But
this feels like it's more not great.
Right. I mean, Fatal Push has supplanted it in a lot of regards, right?
Yeah.
The one reason for the rise of the blue-white deck as well is that it apparently has quite a good Death Shadow matchup.
Vincent looks like he's going to mulligan here. Did show Nick his hand before he did, but it had double Ghost Quarter and then like lots of actually good spells. So if Vincent had a single blue land in that hand, he probably would have just won the game. Like Spreading Seas, Mana Leak.
There's a Sam Vision in there as well.
Just set up further lands. And this is the thing, is you're playing something like 6 or 7 colorless lands, some number of Tech Edge, multiple Ghost Quarters, at least one Mystic Gate. So it's not it is a deck that you can sort of be punished for having these colorless lands, as we see in that opening hand. So he'll go to 6, and we'll see what Nick can do. Nick, I saw in his hand, has some lands, has a Temur Battle Rage, has a Liliana the Last Hope, and presumably a threat. Like, I would assume that there's something in there that makes the life total go down in the combat phase, but we'll see. Vin's gonna look at a 6-card hand here. More Ghost Quarters. I think I see a Plains and
it was a Plains Ghost Quarter?
Yeah, Plains double Ghost Quarter.
We're kind of getting close to the point where we have to keep this, right? Like,
I think you have to. He's also on the draw, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go to 5.
The Ghost Quarter can get you a land in a pinch, but...
Mm-hmm. He'll scry. He keeps
like
guaranteed that's a blue land.
Yeah. Alright, but
this is where you're Grixis, and you Thought Scour your opponent. Okay, so Nick will lead off on an Inquisition. We'll get to see exactly what Vince is working with here. Path, Snapcaster, Ghost Quarter, Serum Visions, Nahiri, Plains.
Okay, so yeah, 3 valid targets. presumably there's a blue land on top, right?
Yeah.
You look in this hand, you saw Vincent's hand. I mean, the only card here that does anything is Path. But if you take Path, Snapcaster will be live in a couple turns.
Yeah, unless you have and I don't know if Nick's hand does not look particularly fast. I think Nick's hand is almost entirely predicated around resolving this Liliana, actually.
Yeah.
And Nick will go to 18.
But yeah, all of these are defensible choices depending on what...
Vincent will flip a Colonnade off the top into play.
I mean, no pretense, right? Your opponent just saw your hand. Yeah, it looks like Nick also drew Death Shadow that turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Jund version of this deck plays much fewer basics than the Grixis version, right?
Both play 2, correct?
I've seen that. I've seen the Abzan play.
Okay, so Nick fetched
3.
tapped here. I'm a little bit skeptical.
I mean, if he's fetching tapped, like we're going for a long game, right? Like
yeah, I think he probably just wants to try to jam this Liliana Last Hope and make Vince.
And hope it's good.
I mean, honestly, it probably is.
There's very little count magic in this deck.
And he saw Vince's hand,
Yeah.
and he knew what Vince.
But Nick effectively mulliganed his draw, drew a Fatal Push, which doesn't have a whole lot of targets in this deck. It'll be good once you start attacking with a Colonnade, but
yeah.
that would be.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is also. Vincent really needs to draw Detention Sphere, or just he gets a Lily ulted out of this game in a couple turns.
Yeah, I mean, we're somewhat far from Cryptic bouncing it, but that's also an option in a pinch.
Yeah, I mean, Vince needs another blue land, and even then you have to Ghost Quarter himself.
Yeah, missing a blue land, I think if Vincent had drawn one, he would have snapped the Serum Vision back.
Yeah. Wait, didn't the Serum Vision get taken with... Oh, yeah, but he can't snap it back. You're right. So Vincent does draw Cryptic here. Doesn't really have a lot of options, though. And this Liliana is pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, with Nick having a Fatal Push in hand, Vincent can't even ambush Viper to, try to contain the Liliana. And, it's worth noting...
You think he'd go for it? I think he might go for it this turn, though. I can definitely see that
He
being
might
realistic.
feel pressured enough where he has to.
I mean, Liliana's pretty good. That ult is hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find a blue source on the top, you can always Ghost Quarter yourself to, Cryptic, but
yeah.
Once the Lily ults, without a clock, we've lost the game.
Yeah, and here we'll see Vincent go for the Ambush Viper.
Yeah.
And that'll get pushed. Vincent says, Path, oh, okay, I don't hate this. Mm-hmm. Does Nick have another push? Yeah, okay, so... This is a situation in which I think that I liked Nick fetch Shocking more, because now his Death Shadow would be well online.
Yeah, I think
and that's the thing. I think you have to be aggressive on your life totals, and here the fetch for basic, barring him casting a spell, I really so he's fetched twice, or he's fetched 3 times now or maybe twice now, but his life could be 3 or 4 lower, and you could also have a 4/4 in play. Well, especially because now you've baited the Path, right?
Right. Once the Path has come out, I would be a little more aggressive.
Okay.
Wow, the IOK misses.
Yeah. Those are just 4 drops.
Yeah, beforehand, I don't mind being a little more conservative, because you're not going to run the Death Shadow out into the Path. Mm-hmm. At least, not unless you need to. Or
you have a backup threat or whatever.
Yeah.
This Lily will go to 7. Vincent has to Ghost Quarter himself.
Yep.
Does take himself off double white here. And will Cryptic bounce it to the hand. Mm-hmm. So
it never feels good when you do this.
This is true, but if Vincent Liliana Last Hope, one of the things about it is it is quite slow. Mm-hmm. So
the thing though is, if Vincent can peel a land here,
right, then he just has Verdict.
Yeah, then he has Nahiri. Well, if he can peel a fetch.
I mean, I think he actually just peeled a Flooded Strand.
Well, there we go. And this Nahiri, because Nick took a conservative line, this is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Because
wow. So now, because now Vince can just Verdict the.
Yeah, this is Nahiri on 6.
Yeah.
Verdict next turn and ult Nahiri.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is actually quite wow. So Vincent might just win this game basically for free. I would maybe pitch. Okay, so he's thinking about pitching Spreading Seas. I like pitching the Spreading Seas.
You're never gonna have time to deploy the Spreading Seas. The back end Nahiri could be relevant. You're going to presumably, have another opportunity to discard it next turn if there's some like nonsense, like all of a sudden it's like.
Actually, I think Vince just wins from here, right?
So Vincent has 2 draw steps to draw the Emrakul, which means that he gets set back an entire turn.
Well, no, because if he draw steps the.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
If he on 8, if he draws the Emrakul, or if he loses.
Yeah, you're right.
There's actually a reason.
Wait, what is this? Is this Death Shadow just a 1/1? Did Nick just plus on his own shadow? Oh, he's traversing.
Yeah.
What is he traversing for, though? Goyf?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so yeah, this is why why I really disagreed with those fetch decisions.
Yeah, also because, you're not going to be pressured by this at all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Nick knows what's in hand, so he's really hoping to peel a Thoughtseize.
Yeah. I don't even know if that helps.
And
yeah, he's shaking his head like it doesn't.
It doesn't, yeah.
I mean, if he draws a Tarfire, he can set it back a turn.
A Tarfire, Bobble doesn't do anything.
No, because you can bobble and try to draw the Tarfire.
Right.
You're still super dead, though.
Yeah.
Because so the thing is here is, Vincent just, has a verdict. So Nick is going to mill himself, mills a Swamp and an Abrupt Decay, return Death Shadow. But, who cares? You're dead.
Yeah, so one of the problems with, the way I saw this game played is Nick played it like it was a normal Jund deck.
Yeah.
Right? Because where you can kind of grind. But the thing is, you don't have outs like Pulse. You don't have, Dreadbore. You don't have, Liliana. You didn't have a Liliana of the Veil where you can, kind of grind.
Yeah.
You have to be the aggressor in this matchup.
Yeah, I think that, the fact that he had to kill his own Death Shadow with Liliana is just... not feeling that. I understand. I think you had to, but you just if you had been fetch shocking, the Death Shadow would have been a real threat.
Yeah, I think
he still loses because Vincent ripped the Flooded Strand. I don't think you can beat that, but
so Nick draws the Thoughtseize here.
Goodbye, and that's the game. Yeah, so I don't think you can beat Vince ripping a fetch land there, but you could have had a lot more pressure if you had.
I think if you fetch shocked on consecutive turns
more aggressively, but you would have been 8. It's a 5/5.
You could have played the Death Shadow on turn 3 or something.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting that if you had ran the Death Shadow out, Vincent didn't have the option of pathing himself. Yeah, it's just if this game goes late, you cannot win.
Yeah,
right. Because their haymakers are just so much better than your haymakers.
Yeah, this Death Shadow deck is most certainly not a Hund deck, as it were.
Right.
I don't know. I just having played a lot of. I've been aggressively spamming just lots and lots of games of Grixis Shadow wherever I can, and it's not exactly the same, but the sort of similar logic around fetch shocking applies. Is you don't want to waste your enablers.
Right.
Because the thing is, for every time you fetch and get a tapped shockland, not only are you not bolting yourself to get your shadow online, but you're also removing the ability to do that in the future.
Sure.
So once you get to 5 shocks in Grixis Death Shadow,
you just can't do that anymore.
You have to draw your Street Wraiths.
Yeah.
Right, but the enablers that are just free parts of playing the game, you have to use them. You can't.
Well, especially.
And just because you don't have the shadow, sorry to cut you off, but just because you don't have the shadow doesn't mean that you can be oh, I don't have the shadow right now. I'm gonna fetch shock, conserve my life total. Because as soon as you draw the shadow and you haven't been doing that, it actually does take effort.
Right. Well, especially because you're playing against a deck if you're playing against a Jeskai deck, that might be a lot more iffy. Whereas you bring yourself low for no reason, all of a sudden a couple of snap bolts.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Dead. But here, given the context of the hand, I think you were talking to your opponent beforehand. It's pretty clear that he's not playing a bolt deck.
Nick knows exactly what's in Vincent's deck.
Oh, well, in that case, it's pretty free to bring your life total low. On the flip side of what you said, though, Reed Duke recently had an interesting series on Death Shadow. He was talking specifically. He was playing the Abzan Shadow.
Okay. Yeah.
List of, and he's surprisingly a lot more conservative with his life total than a lot of people are.
Okay.
He advocates quite a bit for, if it's not necessary, don't go ham on your life total. You can play because you do have a lot of the grinding power of Jund, but in certain matchups.
Yeah, so like I don't think that it's wrong to be conservative with your life total sometimes. I just think that this is a matchup in which that you should not be, because you cannot, like, as soon as they start casting 4-drops, like you need to be far enough ahead that the 4-drops don't end up mattering.
Right, exactly. You're completely correct in that regard. Especially for this matchup, you had to be ahead. Especially after you turn one, you saw their hand, saw the verdict, and then
you saw Nahiri too.
Yeah, you saw both Nahiris.
Not both, just one. Right, but you did see the Nahiri.
But that kind of gives you a window, and like if they play Nahiri on empty board, they win the game. Mm-hmm. Because Nahiri goes to 6 and they verdict whatever you play. You have no haste threats.
Right, and there's no manlands either.
Which means it goes to 8, and then you just lose.
Right.
So you kind of knew that. And obviously it's awkward to play into a verdict, but you kind of have to force them to use it beforehand.
I agree. I don't know. I'm just like, it's a little bit, and it looks like Vince is going to keep here, Nick's going to mull. I just, like you said, Nahiri on empty board with verdict backup is just game over, barring you delay it for a turn with a tar fire. But like, I think it comes down to, you have to be the aggressor.
Right.
Even like Liliana, so like one of the things about Liliana the Last Hope is you have to go plus alt.
Right.
Whereas Liliana the Veil, you go plus alt, and Liliana the Veil significantly disrupts your opponent while you're doing that.
Right. The thing with Liliana the Last Hope is that like there are certain matchups where if the plus has purpose, it's absurdly good. But even if it doesn't, like, being able to minus in certain matchups is very relevant. But here, you what you really wanted was the other Liliana. Because imagine if it was Liliana of the Veil.
Oh, it would have made Vince's life miserable.
Vince's hand is empty now.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
But we'll go into game 2 here. Vince will start off suspending his own. It's time you got to go fast now, right?
Right.
I think Nick did draw Graph Diggers, which is really good in this matchup. Looks like he'll fetch here.
It's okay, right? It shuts off...
it shuts off the Nahiri.
And it shuts off Nahiri. But, like, the Nahiri is still a very powerful loot and removal engine.
That's true. Yeah, the thing is, because this Death Shadow deck tends to... Oh, okay. Gonna go look at the hand here. It looks great for Vince. And it's a Thoughtseize for Nick, so he can take anything, but it's Path, Nahiri, Supreme Verdict, 3 lands. It's a little bit slow, but if you don't die super early on in the game, like, how do you lose? Also, I guess Nahiri is, like, a very relevant threat in this hand, but, like, if I did see it right and you have the cage, like, I'm a little bit skeptical of taking the...
The problem with not taking Nahiri, though, is that it will just kill any creature, any type creature.
That's true. I don't disagree with that.
Because I think the other viable option is to take the Path, right?
Mm-hmm. And this is a cage, yeah. So we'll see if Nick shocks or not. Puts himself to 12.
Looks like he will.
Okay. So he's clearly, I think, rethought the whole life total thing.
Yeah. So you either take Path or you take the Nahiri. Mm-hmm. Path is beatable. I don't think Nahiri is.
That's fair. Yeah, because in this deck you tend to go tall rather than wide, so the Nahiri minus actually just
removal.
Yeah.
And the loot engine,
it's quite powerful.
It's very powerful.
All Vincent really needs to do is get a needs a Deceiver Exarch so he can tap down the Graph Digger's cage and then exile it. Nick will play a basic Swamp here. We'll see what he goes to. Again, this could be one of the Planeswalkers. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so this is the better Lily for him. I guess there is an AV, but like, it's fine. Oh, and there's a D-Sphere in Vince's hand, so that's quite good.
That is quite good. A D-Sphere also can take care of the Graph Diggers in a pinch, but like
I think
certainly
you're not. It's gonna hit the Liliana, not close. Nick discards a card. Vincent thinking about what he wants to pitch. If I'm Vince here, you might pitch a land. Yeah, he pitches the Verdict?
Sure.
Vince must have something kind of nutty. He'll fetch, though. He'll probably drop to 19.
The Verdict will almost never get more than a 1-for-1, right?
That's true. Like, it's a very expensive 1-for-1.
Some of the Jund Death Shadow decks splash white, and have Lingering Souls packaged in the board.
This is not one of them.
Right. One benefit of that is you also get the Ranger Reveals, which is
Range. So like this is something that Grixis have been doing more recently, and the Jund ones haven't. Ranger Vios is insane. I'll pull it up on the screen because
well, I mean, normally it's like you get 2 1/1s, and it's like
you get like 2 Soul Sisters or whatever.
you get 2, or you get like a Viscera Seer.
I'm sorry. I'd like to get 14.
14 power.
It's X times. It's 2 Death Shadows. So
yeah, is that good? 14 power in hand.
I don't know, dude. If you have like I mean, in Grixis and grinding games, you get to 6 mana, you play Ranger, you play both Death Shadows, you get with it, and you win.
Yeah.
Vincent, thinking about a 2 mana play here, he's gonna Spreading Seas the Overgrown Tomb, cutting Nick off of green. Do you like that instead of de-sphearing the Liliana? I guess he doesn't care because he has the AV, right?
Right.
I guess if he gets Inquisitioned or Thoughtseize though, he's in like real rough shape.
Yeah, but one thing also is like even if Nick ults Liliana, you get 2 lands.
Right.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and yeah.
Discarding another Verdict. Yeah, I mean the thing is again, and this is what we were saying. I was saying Fulminator Mage here from Nick. Okay. So he'll probably wind up Fulminatoring on upkeep. So Vince probably want to get Hallowed Fountain or Vince will just untap. Trigger. Okay, yeah. So now Vince, I mean, if he has a land to play and he can not have to crack this fetch and let Nick respond by killing the Foundry, that'd be good.
Well, so one thing that that Vincent did that was really heads up is that Nick passed.
Yeah.
And Vincent was like, if you fetch, your opponent can respond to it,
yeah.
and maybe change their mind.
Yeah.
But so long as you
just pass this.
Pass your turn. Yeah. You will go to the next turn. Obviously, Nick could always like upkeep Fulminator, but that's significantly worse. In case there's some, instant speed shenanigans.
Yeah, and now Vince just gets to, and because Nick didn't respond to the fetch land either, Vincent will just get to de-sphere the Lily, and and he gets a second red source.
Yeah. Well, you can't necessarily respond.
Oh, he's just gonna
fetching.
Serum Visions?
Oh, he hasn't made his land drop this turn.
That's true. He is gonna float. He'll float mana here.
He's presumably gonna float white here.
Yeah, I would almost assuredly float white. But like, once you de-sphere, you're in great shape.
Yeah, Nick is hellbent here.
Nick is hellbent. Vince looks like he topped an Ancestral Vision. Will shock to 14 to play this Hallowed Fountain, and then just de-sphere Liliana.
Yeah,
I mean, when your opponent's hellbent and you have an AV coming off in one turn, best feeling in the game.
Right.
And Nick can't even play Tarmogoyf.
Right. I very much liked Vincent's play last turn of playing the Spreading Seas.
Yeah.
Showing off the green is super relevant.
Traverse, too.
Because it gets Traverse and Goyf.
Nick is going to cast...
admittedly, if
he cycles 2 Street Wraiths in a row going to 8.
Yeah, admittedly, if Nick had drawn...
Oh, God, he cycled 3 in a row going to 6.
Yeah. Admittedly, if Nick had drawn like an Inquisition, you get massively punished.
Yeah.
Taking the D-Sphere. But at the same time, like, the Liliana ult is surprisingly not very good here. Like, if Vincent had the D-Sphere taken, Lily ult would have gotten 2 lands, at best.
Yeah.
Which is, like...
That's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously pretty good, but...
Like, you just don't have a threat. And I think... Yeah. I mean, so Nick kept a 7. I'm not sure it was, like, the...
No, Nick kept a 6.
Oh, he kept a 6? Okay,
right.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you'd really like a threat there, but... Okay, so... And now there's an Inquisition, but it's a turn late. And Vincent is going to spend a mana leak to protect his hand. I don't hate it, especially if he has other answers. Like we know he has a path, right?
Right.
So he just insta kills the first thing Nick plays.
Yeah. And I mean, the path does have a downside in that it'll probably turn on your green spells. But this is
where this blue-white deck can get out of control.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that Death Shadow deck has trouble with that is. The mana base is very strained. You have all the downsides of Jund, but none of the upsides.
Yep.
Yeah.
Black. Thoughtseize. Nick goes to 4 in Colonnade range. So Condemn, Path, Spell Snare, Detention Sphere. Nick will take the D Sphere. Spell Snare also great against Goyf.
Yeah. This means that Nick, if he draws a second black source, has the out to like drawing Lilianas.
Sure.
We're clearly in rough shape, especially with the second AV.
Yeah. Vincent will draw a pass. Nick will also draw a pass. And this can't be... Like, he's on 4 life, so obviously... Like, because the problem is, if he plays a Shadow, and then attacks, it gets condemned, and then he goes back up to 13, and it shuts off the rest of his Shadows. This is a bauble.
Okay.
So, not... like it's just a redraw.
It's a delayed redraw, you know, so it's like you're effectively taking this turn off.
Yeah. Okay, and now Vincent will target himself with Ancestral Vision, draw 4 cards for turn, and wow, that's a lot of cards in hand.
He drew the Emrakul, but you know.
I mean, look, sometimes you draw the Emrakul and sometimes you don't draw the Emrakul. And the times that you do draw it, it's like, oh well.
Okay.
Look, he'll just get to discard it right now. Put all this gas back in his deck. Blomp. Emrakul hits the graveyard. Vince shuffles in everything.
I think he actually draws a card first.
Yeah, you draw a card first, then you shuffle the graveyard in your library because the Nahiri ability completely resolves.
Right. The Emrakul is a trigger, not a replacement effect.
Right. Yeah. Replacement effects include the one for Blight, Steel Colossus, and Progenitus, I believe.
Right.
Vincent thinks about, just looks at his massive hand.
It's just like looking at this board, like,
how do you lose?
Yeah. Also, it's worth noting as well that because the Death Shadow deck plays so few basics,
right?
Like this Ghost Quarter could become Strip Mine very soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the combination of like a path in hand, you pass something and then you just Ghost Quarter them. I mean that's Strip Mine.
Yeah, no, I think that there's only 2 or 3 basics in Nick's deck. I think there might be 3. I think he might be playing an extra swamp. But most Death Shadow decks do only play 2. And that is when someone has like, if Vince has main deck Crucible, I think, if he ever finds it, it's like, it's just spooky.
I mean, never mind that we have a Nahiri on 8.
Yeah, this game is over in a turn.
Yeah.
The Spreading Seas, Nick can't do anything. Vincent will just pitch another Supreme Verdict. The other 2 got shuffled back in, by the way, though, so it's all good.
So, maybe... Oh, no, this is a different art, Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, no, that's one of the promos. Draw step to Nick. I mean, it's hard to do anything on black, blue, blue.
Yes.
This
Yes,
is
it
like,
is.
Big yikes, friend. Like, he can't even Abrupt Decay his way out of the seas.
I mean...
He's got another swamp here. He has a Goyf in hand. See, that's the thing, right? Like, I okay you. Vincent, probably going to say no to this.
Yeah, you have just so much gas in hand, you might as well protect this.
Snapcaster Mage?
His hand might be dead to this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Leak, Snare, Condemn, Path, Leak. I mean, yeah, so Nick does have 3 extra mana, so you could pay for a Leak here, but Vincent playing the Snapcaster means, like, he'll hit you with a Snapcaster and an Emrakul next turn.
Right. I mean, Nick has the out of Vincent repeatedly drawing this Emrakul for multiple turns in the game.
Sure, if Vincent redraws the Emrakul 5 times in a row, I still think Nick loses because the Snapcaster Mage just hits him twice.
Yeah, I mean, we're in pretty bad shape here.
It's not looking great for our for Nick here. Oh man, I think Nick has a Nile Spellbomb in hand. Would have liked to have had that on the battlefield when the Emrakul hit the yard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still losing to the Snapcaster, but he takes the Spell Snare, and let's see if Vince can draw the Emrakul.
Look on the bright side. Your Death Shadows are pretty big right now.
Your Death Shadows are 9/9s. I don't think it matters, but it's a good thought.
Just Annihilator 6.
Vincent can also go get the Sacred Foundry again that Nick killed. Yeah, there we go. I don't like it.
Yeah, this
And this is what happens when like a lot of people play Death Shadow and then a lot of people try to beat it, is you get this blue-white deck that's just like, just rolling these 2 games.
Right, so this blue-white deck,
Vincent does not draw the Emrakul, by the way.
Yeah, think of...
but he doesn't care either.
Looks like
Ooh,
Vincent
wow,
might
he's going for the slow kill.
Yeah.
Yep, plus to 10. Discard Mana Leak, draw. Gross.
Oh, man. Can't tell if this is BM or... Oh, no, because the Grafdiggers. We're idiots.
Oh, right. We forgot about the Grafdiggers cage. Okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick is just like, I can't play my spells.
Well, he drew a Bloodstained Mire, but we're now at the point where we can no longer fetch Shock.
Yeah, well, Death Shadow. It's an 11/11.
That's
For all
fine.
the good that'll do him.
Nick also has a K command, which he can not cast.
No, Dan. You can't cast anything. Honestly, shatter your own Grafdigger's cage so Vince can just Emrakul and end your suffering, right?
Yeah, I mean, Vincent also is getting to the point where, I mean, he can he always has to out to like Cryptic the Graph Diggers when he redraws it. But yeah,
Sure.
so looking at this blue-white deck, I mean, do you remember the last time it was popular?
Eldrazi Winter.
Yeah.
I played it actually at the GP. I was playing Kiki Resto Jeskai, and I thought I had a terrible matchup, and then I just drew Vendilion Click every game and won.
Right. This seems to be the go-to deck when the format becomes a little degenerate.
And
Does Vincent do this before or after blocks?
I looked like Nick made a move.
Yeah, Nick doesn't look.
God.
Wait,
what? Okay, no. Oh, so that was the end of Nick's turn, I think. Vincent was thinking about untapping and then decided to path.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna do it. Vincent Adenolfi gets it 2-0. Blue-white with the Nahiri package, managing to clean that match up pretty swiftly. Yeah, it turns out that if you don't draw your threats in Death Shadow and blue-white draws a bunch of answers, it's going to be a hard life. But yeah, well navigated by Vincent there. The double spreading sees this game just brutally shutting off everything Nick was trying to do. It's very rough when you're like, oh, I have islands, and I'm not an island deck. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. We'll see what Vincent is boarding. Obviously, so he's boarding out Rest in Peace, Relic of This. Rest in Peace, actually insane against Death Shadow Jund. Very good against Grixis Death Shadow too, because you can get their what's it called? You can turn off their Delve creatures, but against Death Shadow Jund, you shut down their traverses, and when you do that, they're sad people, because traverse is important to them. But yeah, and so Vince took out a Cryptic, a Snapcaster, a Think Twice, and a Crucible of Worlds. Crucible, obviously, just a little bit slow for this matchup. Siege Rhino Master 87. I actually, yes, give me like 15, 20 seconds to find this list here. I'm going to have to go into my messenger and look up my chat with Vince. Okay, so Dan is back. There does not seem to be anything going on that, there's no one's like going to game 3 or anything. It's like pretty much in the, okay. So we did have a request in the chat for Vince's deck list.
Looked pretty stock.
It did. He sent me the MTG Goldfish profile that he's been pulling these random blue-white lists from, so I will
go ahead and pull that up and.
Oh wait, that's the wrong password again. Hang
on. Yeah, but that matchup, pretty much how you would expect it to go down.
Sure. Do you think that? I mean, I think that Nick drew relatively poorly for the.
All things considered, yes. Took some perhaps suboptimal lines, but nothing like significant. There were no like punts, for example.
Right.
Ultimately, like Vincent just was able to outgrind.
Yeah.
You just go over the top as this deck is supposed to do.
Okay, so I found the list. It's a little bit different than what Vincent was running. I can try to talk about some of the changes, but I'll put it in the chat here. So again, it's been linked, and I will click this link, and because I know that some card availability things and Vincent's personal preferences sort of changed the what's in the deck. So we've got. So Vincent, I believe, is playing so there's 2 Snapcaster Mage in this list. This is MTG Goldfish user Holy Diva. So we've got Vince played as an additional Snapcaster, so 3 Snapcaster. I think he's only playing 3 AV. I think that's just availability issues. I think he would play 4, but I think he only owns 3. I think he's -1 Spreading Seas. Again, just like couldn't find them at the last second when he decided to throw it together. I don't think there's a remand, and I don't think there's a disallow like this list. I think there's at least one of those is a main deck Crucible of Worlds. One of them is at least one more Cryptic Command. There's a Think Twice main, but this is like mostly it.
Yeah. So one problem with this deck that decks like this are off to do.
Yeah.
It's incredibly clunky.
It's a little bit clunky. It's been clunky before.
It is quite clunky, right? You're playing many 4-drops.
We saw Vincent's opening hand in the first game, remember? He had, like, double colorless land spells.
Right. And like, it's also, well, we didn't see Nick be able to apply any pressure in either games, right? Which,
you know, probably matters a little bit.
Right. Decks like this, like, there are a lot of times where your hands end up being just, like, unplayable, or you take so much damage beforehand.
Yeah, where you just can't catch up. And that's the thing is, like, this like, we just saw, like, probably the best, most fortunate 2 draws against him that Vincent could have had, like, in the history of Magic, but yeah, I don't know.
But that's the thing, like, if you can stabilize to the late game,
yeah,
you're nigh unbeatable. Like,
it's so hard to beat that deck.
Right.
Like, how do you beat, like, just, like, endless Cryptic, Supreme Verdicts, Nahiris? Like, these cards are powerful, they're just slow. And once they stop being too slow, you can't beat that within
exactly.
the game.
And, like, you don't even have the issue of, you know, like, running out of gas because you play so many lands, because you have AVs that are, like,
yeah,
a full
AV is
restock.
also insane, yeah. Thanks to, by the way, the Worm826 for the follow. I appreciate you supporting the stream. So we haven't had, like, a ton of, you know, big modern. There have been a couple SCG classics that we can go to.
You know, we're actually we're in the period of the year where we're kind of in the doldrums of major tournaments.
Yeah.
We're in the awkward space of being right before a new set drops.
Right.
Which comes out next weekend, but this weekend are pre-releases. And, you know, we'll have standard meta and PT from that coming up soon.
Yeah, the closest tournament that we have, you know, that did have some, like, interesting finishes was the STG Worcester Modern Classic. So that was the Legacy Open that they had.
That was the Legacy Open.
And the Modern Classic attached to that. Topping it, actually, was a Scapeshift list that generated a little bit of buzz online. Because it was playing, it was playing Jund colors. So this Scapeshift list, and I will pull it up and link it in the chat. Just give me a moment here. This Scapeshift list right here, you know, was playing Jund colors. So we have in the main deck, we have 4 Fatal Push and 2 Abrupt Decay. These cards significantly better than the normally green-red Valakut's preferred removal spell of Lightning Bolt. Just against Death Shadow, Lightning Bolt is basically irrelevant unless you're killing them actually with it, and you know, it's not.
And that's part of the reason why Lightning Bolt has kind of been pushed out of the format. It's because, like, it's
what does it kill?
It's hideously bad against specifically Death Shadow.
And there's a lot of Death Shadow.
And there's a lot of that. Against everything else, it's still as good as it always has been.
Yeah, nobody panic. Don't sell your bolts.
But, yeah. But, and for the Scapeshift deck, what this means is you play a couple fewer basics, but, you know, then you just play the Black Shock lands.
Yeah, you play Blood Crypt. There actually, I think there's 1 Blood Crypt and 1 Swamp, so...
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's also, this deck is playing 3 Prismatic Omen though, so it lets you sort of cheat a little bit with regards to mountains, because everything is a mountain now.
Well, not just everything is a mountain, but everything's a swamp as well.
And everything is an island. I guess that doesn't matter.
I mean, it might hurt you against Merfolk, right?
Ouch.
Wait, is the lands become every type? Yeah, that must be how it reads.
They are every basic.
Prismatic Omen kind of floats in and out of favor.
I think it's fine here. Just like it gives you better fixing.
Yeah, the fixing here, you know, incentivizes you to play it. But you know, in days of old, like, you know, Titan Breach, sometimes played it just so, you know, it's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
It is kind of a clunky draw, especially if you ever draw multiples of it. It feels terrible.
Multiple Prismatic. I mean, that's why you play 3 instead of 4, right?
Right. But, you know, with a deck without card selection...
Yeah, you can just draw
multiple
second and third Prismatic Omens. I mean, I guess you're fine. Like, you just hold them and discard them to K-Command.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jow Blue for the follow as well. Appreciate your support of the stream. If you're just joining us, we're MTGCardMarket Wednesday Night Modern. We're waiting for round 2 to start here at the shop, so we should have that shortly. Coming up, though, we do have a new set release in Mtgcard.
Yeah, the pre-release of which is this weekend. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like it should be a fun set.
Do you think anything in the set has modern implications?
Nothing seems like it will break modern.
Okay.
I mean...
Oh, we said that when Treasure Cruise came out, too. and then we were all wrong.
Yeah, I think people underestimated how powerful Delve was going to be.
That's fair.
Because, it hadn't been a thing, right? Delve was only previewed in Future Sight.
Future Sight, yeah.
Yeah. Especially in, the older formats,
Living End, CW8 Smith points out in the chat, Living End is going to get a couple buffs from this set.
Yes. Not in, least from the rules change.
Oh, yeah, so they can, Living End can play. I mean, I guess the question is, are there any split cards you would want to play in Living End, though?
I mean, you have the option of, going to, Wear and Tear now, which is not hideous, right?
I'm skeptical.
But, it gives you options.
Okay.
Which,
yeah, that's fair. Other things in Living End, though, they did print a couple cyclers for single mana that are quite good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new Sphinx that it's 2 blue, and it lets you scry when you cycle. So it's possible that Living End, maybe includes more blue lands, but also just they printed a cycler for single red that's a 6/4 or whatever. So, it just streamlines the deck a little bit better.
Right. It means you don't have to play stuff like Jungle Weaver, or some of your less good cyclers.
Yeah, that's fair. And then I guess Living End definitely getting an additional buff there. Also, we have the everyone's favorite, blue terrible mythic, As Foretold, which I've seen getting hype in either Living End or a Restore Balance deck.
This is actually one of the reasons why Restore Balance has kind of been spiking in price.
Yeah, we'll pull up As Foretold here. It's not on Mtgcard's info yet, though, so it is on Gather.
Yeah, like I said, nothing that's overtly busted, but there's a lot of brew potential.
Yeah, so let's see, where is this thing? Card image. Okay, so this is As Foretold. It's a 2 blue enchantment that basically in a deck with Restore Balance says 2 blue. Put the 2 blue
cast balance.
Yeah, 2 blue cast balance. That can be somewhat nutty if you have the draw of Suspend Gargadon turn 1, and then turn 2 and then turn 2 you play a land and stuff, maybe you Faithless Looting or something, and then turn 3 you play As Foretold and balance them and you sack all your stuff to Gargadon. Seems great.
Yeah, doesn't seem terrible at all. Fortunately you can't hardcast Gargadon off of this, as you could off of some of the expertise. Oh, no, excuse me, not Gargadon.
Split card.
I'm thinking of
split cards, fuse cards.
The balance cards. You could always hardcast Restore Balance off of
expertises?
The expertises.
Right.
But Gargadon still has a CMZ of 10.
Yeah, this is true. No, so I mean, again, I don't know how good it is necessarily. This also lets you cast Ancestral Vision the turn you play it, but that, if you think about it, unless you have some other way to get value out of it, playing this into Ancestral Vision is 3 mana, sorcery speed, discard 2, draw 3.
Which is not that exciting.
It's not playable in Modern.
Right. The thing is, we need to find it out if there's a deck that wants this effect.
Mm-hmm. I can think. I mean, look, if the balance deck is good, balance will wreck. The effect.
The effect is very powerful.
The effect of balance is nuts. But is there a Modern deck that can play it? It's still sort of unclear.
Yeah, I mean, there are no ups. I mean, yes, you eventually, I guess, could cast Cruel Ultimatum off of this. But
now we're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is I don't really think there's a good way to accelerate this card. I don't know. I don't think there's Proliferate that's going to make this card good.
No, Proliferate, we're kind of going deep there.
Yeah, this is fair. I mean, we'll see though. I'm constantly amazed by the ingenuity of the Magic community. I think that as soon the game I get balanced is just going to be oh, well, this is great. Should have thought about this one.
It's certainly a scary card though. If you see your opponent on 3 play this, you're just I don't know what's coming off of this, but
But it's not going to end well for you.
No,
the question is, do you counter the As Foretold, or do you wait and counter the Restore? I think you probably just counter this, right?
Sure, but this just means then
they still have the card.
Well, this means you can start casting Serum Visions for free and stuff.
Yeah, you get some incremental value.
Yeah.
It also, interestingly, it works on both turns, so
You can get your instants as well.
You can theoretically cast an instant on your opponent's turn for free. So like you cast Serum Visions on your turn, you cast Thought Scour on their turn. But yeah, so with that, this next round should be coming up shortly. We are going to go to a quick 4-minute break. When we come back, we should have the next round for you. So yeah, we will be back before the timer runs out with more Wednesday Night Modern from MTG Card Market. Again, 4 minutes, and we'll be right back. And we are back here with Wednesday Night Modern here at MTG Card Market. We said we'd be back before when the timer ran out, so we are. Dan has just stepped away briefly. There's still one match going on, folks. That match is blue-white control against cards that I saw that I didn't 100% get a good glimpse at. It might have been Abzan. I think there might have been a Malir under Spellqueller or something. I don't know. Some stuff was happening. But we should have a new match shortly. Dan is gesturing at me. No, Dan is giving me the shake eyes. So I guess we're not gonna have a new match. What is it Abzan Company versus Blue White?
Looks like it, but they're in a board state in a part of the part of the game where it looks like no one's going to be winning for a while.
That's saddening. This is what happens when you this is why you goldfish your reps before you leave home, kids, because this will happen to you. And then you'll be sad.
Well, so, I mean...
Sometimes it does just happen, but other times it's like, oh my god. Like,
yeah, I mean,
please decide.
There are a lot of games, there are a lot of decks in the format that can go very long. I mean, I like it. Yes. Almost universally, I play decks that can grind.
You are the draw master, though, so like...
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I mean, partially it's my fault. But also, like, just the deck selection, right? Like, it's hard to draw and burn. You were almost never draw and burn. Although I've seen it happen.
I did play a couple weeks ago. I played a small weekly with burn, and first 2 rounds, we were the last match done, and they were like 45-minute rounds. Like
right.
there were 5 minutes left on the round timer. It was like, oh,
I mean,
that happened. That's just like, if they don't have a clock, but you can't resolve a burn spell because they're playing a blue deck with hard counters, you're just like, oh, I guess we're sitting here.
Yeah. I've actually seen a surprising number of burn mirrors that I've drawn. Back when Leyline of Sanctity was popular. If you both resolve ley lines, all of a sudden the game becomes much more difficult to win.
I mean, it's just draw, go, discard, whoever rips a D-Rev, right?
Right. Until you start hardcasting the second one.
Or you just have, I guess then you have to win the creature battle.
You do. But the problem is you have so much burn that the creatures never live. Because when bolts can't go to face, they start going to your opponent's creatures.
I will be honest with you, though. So you have Searing Blaze. Mm-hmm. You have, Lightning Bolt. You have...
Helix?
Okay, that's fair.
Rift Bolt?
Oh, Rift Bolt goes creature.
All of these cards go
that's
creature.
Fair. That's fair. Shard Volley, if you play that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Famously, there was a GP where it was a burn mirror and one player got decked. In top 8.
How?
They both had ley lines.
But did he not draw his D-Revs?
No, then they cast their second and third ley line as well.
This is why you play 4 D-Rev, kids. They can only have as many ley lines as you have D-Revs.
Yeah, it just got to the point where it's like... Oh, also, when you start playing, many core Firewalkers...
Sure.
The game, on top of the ley lines, all of a sudden, we're both at, 50.
Okay.
Things that can happen.
Sure, yeah, no. So, this match is going long out here. But, I mean, fortunately, there is a way to resolve this, which will be the timer will go off, and then they'll go to turns. But,
yeah.
My God.
I mean, Wizards did recently reveal several changes that are going to be coming to competitive play.
Wait, I actually haven't heard of these. You're going to have to enlighten me.
I mean, by and large, they don't apply to most players.
Okay, but hit me.
So, I mean, I guess the most notable one is the Pro Tour Top 8 format is returning back to the single elimination bracket.
Okay, yes, I have heard of this.
Yeah. That, the current bracket, well, interesting in concept.
I just like the highest 2 seeds get a bye to the semis.
Highest 2 seeds get a bye to semis, and then if you top 8, you're effectively playing 4 rounds to win the tournament instead of 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
because you play, it's like, well,
the bracket gets
there's
kind
a
of
pre-semis, right? There's 2 into 1, and then those 2 to the semis. Yeah.
Right. So they're returning back to just single elimination 8-man bracket.
Okay.
They gave more information on nationals.
Okay.
Which now award pro points if you top 8 them. So maybe that incentivizes pros to come out.
Sure.
They're keeping the format where you can have a buy at them for a ludicrous number of Planeswalker points.
What's the number, 4,000, right?
For US is 4,000.
It's a lot of Planeswalker points.
Which is, it's only 500 to qualify though, so pretty much anyone who plays, semi-regularly at a competitive level will be qualified for
500 Planeswalker points to qualify?
Yes.
Wow, okay, that's not bad.
No, I mean, that means 2 GPs during the course of the year.
And you qualify.
and you qualify. Or if you play like weekly events and
A
stuff.
lot of events, yeah. Okay, I mean that's fair enough. So, and also there was one change that I remember this article now that they've changed how RPTQs work for invites, right?
Yes. The number of invites that come out of an RPTQ are not based on number of players, and there's kind of brackets for it.
Which I think is smart. Like that, it must have it definitely devolved into some travel metagaming where you tried to pick which RPTQ you would go to because they'd be softer.
Well, the thing is, previously there were only two brackets. It
Right.
was, do you have 128 players, or do you have more than 128 players? And those are two very big brackets.
Going above that, I feel like it can be difficult even.
Yeah. The only RPTQs that ever had a full top 8 invite were ones in Europe.
Sure.
Notably Italy, which has RPTQs of 150s
Okay.
and stuff like that. But the U.S., all of them, I don't think there's been a single U.S. RPTQ that broke into the second bracket, which means that you want to just play the smallest one possible.
Right, which means that you're going to try to travel to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Lincoln was a popular one because of that.
Lincoln, Nebraska RPTQs.
Yeah. But now there's a bracket, I believe 42 is the cut, or it might have been 48, something like that.
Okay.
That's a bracket for where the cut is from top 2 to top 4. And now the top 8 cut is 90 something.
Okay.
Which is much more attainable.
Yeah, and I think that the one other sort of large change to the RPTQs that they announced is that you can now the tournament organizer can now charge a fee to play in an RPTQ.
Right.
It's gonna get look, if this is definitely because you have a captive market of people who want to make the Pro Tour, it's definitely going to be something that Wizards needs to look at and be like, you're being unreasonable by charging $100 for your RPTQ, because I definitely think that is pretty abusable.
It certainly is abusable, especially with I have pretty strong personal opinions about this.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, to begin with, I think PPTQs, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, are the worst tournaments to play at.
Sure.
They are typically fairly small, but absurdly long.
Yep.
The EV is always terrible. Naturally, because they're small tournaments where you have to, hire an LT judge. So the EV is always terrible. And the only prize that's meaningful is if you win.
Sure.
Typically. Some PPTQs, have cash prizes or, stuff on top of it. But for your typical PPTQ, they're miserable tournaments to play.
Sure.
You get nothing. Getting second doesn't mean anything. You have to win, and even a small one will be 5 to 8 hours.
Right, because you have to play the top 8.
You have to play a top 8. So, a 10-person PPTQ to win that is 6 rounds of Magic.
Sorry, 10. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Oh no, not 10. 7 rounds. Because it's base 4, but you cut the top 4, so it's 5 plus 2 from top 8. So 10-person PPTQ is 7 rounds of Magic.
And again, you have to win.
You have to win. If you get second, it's pointless.
Right.
And you have to just keep grinding them until you win one. Which, if you're fortunate, you win one early in the season, you just don't have to do this anymore. But they're by far the least enjoyable tournament to play.
Okay. So
And this doesn't help, right?
The fees for RPTQs.
Right.
So let's see here. This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is gonna be Tezzeret. Yeah, let's do that.
Sure.
All right, we have pairings. We are going to a second round. I will modify this thing so we no longer have to blame the blue-white control player. I don't know what this was before. It's fine. All right. Good. All right. In that case, we are going to throw it down to the play overlay. I will do some quick resetting here, and we should be underway with round 2 in just a moment. On the left here, we are going to have Ryan Bogner. He's a Grixis control player. Has been playing it for some time. And on the right here, we're going to have Martin Sheeler. He jumps around from deck to deck. Tonight, he is playing Whir of Invention Tezzeret.
Yeah, I saw him play as I walked by. He had a Herald of Anguish in play.
I Excuse me?
Herald of Anguish.
Alright.
Limited All-Star.
Oh, sorry, yeah, it's the improvised demon. Okay. Yes. Herald of Anguish. Right. I forgot that was a card.
It's quite good. I mean, All-Star and Limited mostly for the body, but like, you know, the trigger is also pretty relevant.
Yeah, the fact that you can, I mean, so what he's doing is he's playing a Tezzeret deck with Ensnaring Bridge and stuff. He also is playing Whir of Invention, so he can chord basically for artifacts. And I'll pull up Whir of Invention on the right here once we sort of get underway.
The ability to chord for Ensnaring Bridge seems very powerful.
Okay, yeah, it can be extremely relevant and you know, obviously in many situations. So here we're going to see him going up against Grixis Control, which, you know, if it doesn't provide enough of a clock, you know, we'll lose to something like the Thopter Sword. No, he and Huber switched when they were scrimming.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so no, he's playing Grixis Control. We saw he was playing Grixis Death Shadow earlier, but he was just practicing another deck. Tezzeret Whir, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
So this deck also has the Thopter Sword combo in it, but we'll pull up...
As one would expect.
Yeah. Whir of Invention, the first time it has been shown on this stream.
Yeah, I mean, this card saw a lot of hype when it first got previewed. It's just an interesting effect.
It's really cool.
Ultimately, it just didn't end up being powerful enough. Or, specifically, for Standard, there just wasn't anything... The artifact deck never came together.
Yeah, it also has a great name. Like, whoever came up with this name is a genius. Looks like Martin is going to keep... He's got a Sword of the Meek in the hand. I think he also might have a Thopter Foundry. So, like, that's one thing. Like, Grixis Control, you know, if you don't... If Martin can start resolving these cards, because granted, Grixis Control does have a lot of counter magic, but if he does resolve Thopter Sword and doesn't, like, die to Kolaghan's Command or whatever, it's so hard to lose. Like, honestly, like, the back half of a Lingering Souls is sometimes enough to get most of the way there against Grixis.
Yeah, and this is infinite backhand, you know, infinite Lingering Souls.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. So, Ryan is thinking about what he has on top there. He will keep it on top. And, yep, he'll be on the play. Start off basic island and pass. Would have liked to have suspended an Ancestral Vision there, but not so fortunate. Martin will start with a Dark Slick Shores and a pass, and we'll take it back over to Ryan. He did draw a land. I believe he kept that Steam Vents on top of the deck. He'll play it untapped.
And I think Martin has a Pentad Prism as well.
Okay, Pentad Prism is a quite a powerful ramp spell. You know, is a little bit vulnerable to Kolaghan's Command, but
it means
he's got a River of Tears.
Mm-hmm. So the Pentad Prism though is really interesting because it taps for 3 for Whirl of Invention.
Yes, because you take 2 off and then you tap the Prism itself.
Right.
And this is the land that Martin played. If you're not familiar with it, this is a really cool cycle.
Yeah, this was the Future Sight cycle of lands that all did interesting things. This is the Grove of the Burnwillow Horizon Canopy.
Grove of Burnwillow's Horizon Canopy. Like, there's like Nimbus Maze, Graven Cairns, which eventually turned into an entire 10-card cycle.
Right.
And then I don't know what the last one is, but
no, we named 5, didn't we?
Oh, Tears, Cairns, Burnwillow, Maze, Canopy. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. This card's super cool. I mean, it's a little bit hard to keep track of sometimes, but it's kind of neato. This is a Collective Brutality, probably the Duress mode.
Yeah.
This is really good against Ryan, because I think he's got a Cryptic in hand.
Yeah, also, important to point out that escalating is part of the casting cost, so a little bit risky if you want to try to, and there's no reason to escalate anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm not very familiar with, like, the background lore and history of Magic, so I was like, you know, I thought Future Sight just had, you know, interesting mechanics in it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like I talked to someone who, you know, specializes in the flavor of the game, where it's like, no, these were all cards that they were like, these are maybe previews of future mechanics.
Right, exactly. For example, Tarmogoyf referenced to the Planeswalker type before Planeswalkers existed.
Right. Delve was first introduced there from Tombstalker.
It looks like there's going to be a Bolt targeting Martin there. Just getting it out of the hand. And here's a Swamp and a pass. But Martin, now knowing that the hand... draws a Tezzeret here. This is quite powerful. Here's an Inventor's Fair. We'll see if he wants to go with the 4-mana Tezzeret Agent of Bolas or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tezzeret. Did Ryan rip a Cryptic? Looks like the answer is no.
Alright, well, Tezzeret's going to be quite powerful then.
Here is the beats. So he will plus look at the top 5 cards of his library, reveal an artifact card from among them, and put them into his hand. He'll reveal... Ooh, wow, that's a Thopter Foundry, and he already has the sword. So, looks like Martin will remove counters from the Prism and get that Foundry into play. And that's good because now, no matter what... so this does look like his
Tezzeret's going to die.
His Tezzeret may be dying here, but if he gets the Thopter Sword combo online, I think it's lights out.
Yeah, short of like K command, this is going to be very difficult to deal with.
Here's Island. Yeah, you need to command in response to the sword, but here's sword. Ryan's like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't have a way to deal with infinite 1/1s.
Yeah, you can
infinite 1/1s plus a lot of life gain too. So the pressure down with the the Snapcaster and the I guess the Snapcaster bolted face here, so 14. The pressure down with the Snapcaster won't work out. Did he draw? Looks like he does have another Cryptic in hand, so he can potentially try to bounce something.
No, the Tezzeret got bolted.
No, this Tezzeret got attacked.
And bolted.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Martin should be at 4. 17.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, because it takes 4 damage to kill. Okay. Yeah, 1. Jeez. All right. Numlock turned off for a second there. Yeah. So Ryan is thinking about how he can use this Cryptic command to best disrupt this combo.
It's interesting we see this. When Thopter Sword was unbanned, this was one card that we were concerned would break the format. And really, it just hasn't seen play at all.
It really hasn't.
I mean, people tried, very early on and just ended up not making nearly as many waves as we thought it would.
Yeah. But Martin does now get to sacrifice the sword, make a Thopter.
Gain 1 life.
Gain 1 life, yeah, he's up to 18 now. Cryptic command. And what is this doing? I think it's going to bounce something, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, this is because if you bounce the Foundry, that doesn't really do anything, right?
The thing is, Martin has a Pentad Prism which he can use to start the process again.
Right. I'm surprised Martin allowed that to resolve.
You mean why didn't he
why he didn't Pentad Prism, sack Pentad Prism and do it again?
Make more Thopters. All right,
Yeah.
so Martin will go down to 16 here. I mean, the thing is, he just gets to untap and do this again 3 times.
Yep.
I agree though. If he had just sacked the Prism and then just gotten 2 Thopters, you block the Snapcaster, you're in a better spot, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And the turn goes back over to Martin.
Yeah, but Ryan's tapped out.
Yeah.
I mean, here you might actually be incentivized to just go ham and just here's 3
make
dudes.
Make 1,000,000 Thopters, yeah.
Or at least make 1 dude. If you're not doing anything, if you're not holding a mana for anything, I would just go ahead and make at least 1 Thopter.
Sure.
This way Ryan can't respond to this with any shenanigans.
Right. I like making a Thopter here. We will see what Martin chooses to do. He does have an Inventor's Fair in play as well. He'll hopefully for him he won't miss his life gain triggers. Let's see. 3 mana. He'll just put the bridge into play. Okay. I think I like making Thopters more, frankly.
I think I do too. Ryan is clearly on the desperately try to beat you down plan.
Yeah, and I mean, that's probably not going to work. Ryan he has a Bloodstained Mire plus whatever he just drew. Maybe a Blood Crypt. He'll suspend an Ancestral Vision and go Hellbent again.
Yeah.
He'll fire up Creeping Tar Pit, though, and attack for 5 here. Martin will go to 11, but the thing is Martin doesn't care because he can make 5 Thopters a turn. Right?
Yeah.
It literally does not matter. He's got another Tezzeret, though. And that can also provide a ton of beats, making artifacts into 5/5 creatures. Additionally, the Tezzeret can, and I think we'll see it here. Yep, there's the Tezzeret. He'll go looking. Personally, I think just making a bunch of Thopters and removing any chance at all. He finds a Welding Jar. That's pretty good.
The Welding Jar, in case there's K command shenanigans, this is going to be very powerful. Again, surprised
The Tezzeret is just going to die, though.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wait, no, it's not. He can make a blocker.
Tezzeret will go to 1.
Animate Tar Pit. Attack. Tezzeret.
Right.
Martin says, Ghost Quarter. Oh, yeah, right.
We'll
Just
go ahead and
untap
Ghost
Ghost Quarter. Get that out of here. Martin should gain a life on his upkeep as well.
And now this is a trigger that is very easy to miss.
I agree. But I think, Martin does... I find that when players play niche Modern decks, they're very frequently, like...
Familiar with them?
Yeah, like when someone sits down and just randomly jams Grixis... randomly jams Jund Death Shadow, I can see the miss bauble triggers, but, like, not here.
Alright, Ryan draws a second AV.
Not great.
But not...
Martin going up to 12.
Not irrelevant either, right? At least this is going to restock.
He'll restock. I just think he's so far behind.
I just don't know what Ryan even draws from it, right?
Nothing. I don't think you can draw anything from here. I think you just lose to just like Thopters.
Yeah, like you're just so.
Also, the Tezzeret minus just makes artifacts.
Well, it makes
it makes your artifacts bigger. So Martin will cantrip again with the Tezzeret. There's just ancient stirrings for artifacts. Go 5 deep. Find something. Got to reveal. He'll reveal Mox Opal. Okay. That's just like
pretty free.
It's just a free land drop. He'll tap the Mox Opal. That's an Executioner's Capsule, and he'll pass.
Alright,
I'll pull a Capsule over here. It's not the most common card.
No, but it is, artifact-based removal.
Yeah.
It's a little expensive, but,
when you can find it off of Tezzeret or you can whir for it, it gets better.
Yeah. Obviously, the fact that this is terror, not murder, makes it a little worse.
Right, yeah. I mean, you can't kill, like, he couldn't have killed the Tar Pit with this. Ooh, now we're going to get a whir. This is a whir for 3.
A whir for makes me feel like Crucible's coming up here.
Oh, no. Martin, have mercy. Just going to get a relic. Okay.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, Ryan's
says, just like, we're done.
We're done. Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's going to do it. I honestly don't think Grixis can beat the Thopter Sword. If you can't interrupt the Thopter Sword, like if he has a Welding Jar and Thopter Sword, I think you just lose because you can't beat that many flyers.
The problem is, like, you lose out on a lot of the good artifact hate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think your best one is maybe Vandal Blast if you have it.
Sure, but you probably don't, honestly.
You probably don't. It's Shatterstorm obviously good, but for Grixis, you're really splashing the red.
You almost certainly don't have Shatterstorm, and you almost certainly don't have Vandal Blast, and you definitely don't have Shatterstorm.
Right. Just the red is too expensive for this deck.
Yeah.
And in black, I mean, in black-blue, there's just not really any good artifact hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you're not playing...
you don't have Stony Silence, which is nuts against
You don't have
deck.
Stony Silence, which...
Although, to be fair, this deck just wins by making a bunch of 5/5s with Tezzeret.
Yeah, I mean, that's not bad either. But, this seems like a very rough matchup. And let's not forget, like, Martin can also always just, like, there are a lot of artifacts that do fun things. Like, we saw Martin take a turn off to play Ensnaring Bridge that did actual nothing.
He has a Crucible of Worlds?
Yeah, he's Crucible in the main, because it's kind of free.
You can tutor for Crucible and just start Ghost Quartering them.
Yeah, and I mean, the Grixis deck does run a fair number of basics, but not infinite.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is that normally we'll play around 22 lands. Like 8 fetches, 2 tar pits, you're up to 10, 4 or 5 shocks, maybe a couple checks. You're probably looking at 5 basics.
At most.
4 or 5 basics.
4 or 5 at most.
It's 2 or 3 islands, 1 swamp, 1 mountain. And that's just, once you... Like,
that's assuming you're not playing utility lands like Ghost Quarter.
You're almost certainly not, actually.
Right.
These lists are too tight to play a colorless source.
I guess that's fair. It's the same problem, Jund has. Like, that Ghost Quarter is not free in the least bit.
Not at all. Like, I think once you get to 25 in a 3-color deck, like once you get to 24, 25 lands, depending on your requirement, you can start playing those cards. But anything below that, I'm really skeptical.
Jeskai, notably plays. We used to play, many tech edges.
3 tech edge, yeah.
Which was like excusable because you had so much card draw and you had so many lands in the deck. You were just going to hit your land traps.
Right.
Yeah, then you can
with
play
Grixis, so you're only playing 22, 23.
Right. The curve is much lower because
your height, you top out at Cryptic.
Yeah, there's nothing over the top. You're not trying to rev for $1 million. You're not like. Yeah, this seems like a very, very brutal matchup. Ryan's best line of play really is just to be able to jam an early Tassiger.
Yeah, and hope that it doesn't. I
Hope
mean,
that's
I don't
good.
know. I don't know how Martin really kills that. Although I will say that the Tezzeret 5/5s match up really well against Tassiger.
Yes, they do. But the thing with the 5/5s, depending on how many fatal pushes you have left in it, I mean, you don't have a lot of big artifacts. Like
Yeah,
you're making
sure.
random nonsense in the 5/5s.
Right. I don't disagree with that. Like, that's fine. It's not like you do. But I feel like you have to sort of cut. I guess you don't. I guess the opportunity cost of like leaving your fatal pushes in, depending on. I don't know how stocked Ryan's board is against this sort of matchup.
Mm-hmm. Depends on how much you have the board. And obviously, fatal push is not a good card in this matchup, but you might not cut all of them.
Yeah, I just like. Also, the Grixis control lists like are. They play some number of pushes, but they also play a bunch of terminates anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
Terminates might just be better here in case they play something.
yeah, like
over the top.
you don't really need the efficiency, right? Like
No.
yeah, so we'll shuffle up here for game 2. We'll see what we'll see if Ryan can get a little bit better draw. That collective brutality from Martin was extremely timely in stripping the cryptic. Like sometimes one of the things with the Tezzeret deck is if your like key spells get just countered, you don't really have a lot of interaction with that, and then you just sort of lose because you are playing literal nonsense.
Yes. It's a collection of artifacts. Like it's very possible that like you draw on the wrong ones, and then all of a sudden we're just playing
Bad cards.
Yeah.
I do think that, like you said earlier, that Ryan's best route to victory here is to Thought Scour into turn 2 Tasker. Whoa, he has Sleight of Hand in this deck? Ah, that's cool. I must keep up with Grixis lists more, because I do not remember this being a thing.
Well, I mean, like...
Slate's good.
I
think you played after Serum Visions, but I'm surprised you want the ninth cantrip.
The ninth effect. Yeah.
Martin does have Thoughtseize on the draw here.
Oh, the 4 Thought Scours on
Yep.
top, yeah.
Oh, maybe that's not Sleight of Hand. What is that white-bordered card, Daniel?
That looks like a Sleight of Hand, does it not?
I don't know. Martin thinking about the pick here. I'm unsure. He'll take the Snapcaster.
Right,
I don't know what that card is. Chat, please. Yeah, if chat knows what that card is, we'll be eternally grateful.
Sleight of Hand would be a little bit
Oh, it's
strange.
a Hercules. Duh. Oh, Hercules.
Well, that makes
Whoa.
sense. That's one way to be Thopter Sword. Well, it delays
Genius.
Thopter Sword, alright?
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for the Hercules recall. For whatever reason, MTGCard or the Magic Cards Info pulled the German version. We'll see if we can fix that. This one, yeah, this
Yeah.
card's great. Martin also plays on Mox Opal and passes. Back over to him. He's got a Relic of Progenitus. He did draw a Tezzeret there. Play a Polluted Delta. Does he have other plays? No. Ooh, I think actually Martin might have a Padim in his deck. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I think it's in his hand.
I do not hate
Yeah,
it.
it's definitely right there. Oh my god. Let's go.
This
is a Padim, everybody. If you
Yeah.
don't know Padim, you should get to know Padim. He's cool.
he's quite good in Limited.
Yes, he's also just gonna Howling Mine Martin.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I don't imagine is going to resolve.
Well, Ryan doesn't have 2-mana counter spells.
I mean, Padim does come down on 4, so he won't
it is a
have
4 drop,
Cryptic
okay.
by the time that happens.
Unless it gets stripped by an effect,
Yeah.
like a Collective Brutality or something.
I'm a little surprised that Martin ran out the Mox Opal.
I am a little bit too.
Typically, like
You want to surprise him with it. Is that a Pact of Negation? No.
That looked like a Pact of Negation. I mean, that's one way to like surprise your opponent, right?
Is just have the surprise Pact of Negation that you can't pay for? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got a Thopter Foundry here.
He's getting close to paying for it. He's one. Well, I mean, once he makes his land drop, he'll make it the turn after.
Oh, rip. Alrighty. Gonna look at a Bolt.
Ooh, okay. So this is
Now you just take the Cryptic.
Yeah,
up
I think you
close.
take
You
the
don't
Cryptic.
care anymore. You're gonna just
The-
play Padim, dude.
the Hercules is just fog. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's just like Ryan doesn't have any pressure here.
I like the Shockland into Thopter Foundry
Yeah, I definitely want to get this on.
on board before he draws another Cryptic because the deck does play 4. Okay, maybe not. 1. Oh no, he is gonna say like Ice Shock as this comes
Yeah.
into play. Just a little shortcut. Go to 15. Thopter Foundry in play, ladies and gentlemen.
This so
And Mox Opal almost on.
yeah, and I think that's a bigger deal. Not that like you not to like just like jam the Thopter when you can,
Yeah.
which is like a valid line. But this also means that Mox Opal might be turned on next turn.
Yep.
Which that's a valid.
Draws a Pentat Prism. This will let him play the Padim.
Uh-huh.
Ryan's like, sure. Dude, the Padim is crazy because, wait, what? Pass? No, you can't. Oh, maybe he has a Whir. I really like the Padim here, though.
I like
The Padim just start getting that Howling Mine value. Like, how does he kill Padim?
I mean, Martin might just be waiting till next turn.
He might try to eat Whir here, too.
Yeah, Whir here would be pretty good.
Oh, we're going to see it. Oh, man, this is a Whir for 2. Oh, he's just going to Whir for Sword. Amazing.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, it's so good.
That makes a lot of sense.
Is Martin at 13 life? Chad is saying he's at 13.
Well, let's see.
Thoughtseize to 18.
Thought.
Fetch Shock. Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think we missed the second Thoughtseize.
No, it's, Oh, yeah, you're right. We did miss a second Thoughtseize. Okay, so now Martin has the winning combo in play. I mean, Hercules will delay it.
Hercules will delay it for a while. But this also means that Martin's going to get to a life total where, he doesn't have to worry about being bolted out.
pressured, yeah. I mean, he's at 13 right now anyways. Like, this is fine.
Also,
how do you actually beat this if you're Grixis? Like, what do you do? You can't wit, can you?
this is very rough.
Like, the Whir means that he can force you to tap out, untap, play a thing.
Uh-huh.
And Martin will get to look deep here with Tezzeret.
This deck seems sweet.
This deck is dope.
Yeah.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, get your Thopter Swords and your Rivers of Tears.
What's he gonna?
He gets another Prism. Okay. Sure, just a little more ramp.
Pentat Prism plays very well when your opponent has Hercules.
Yes.
This means, okay, sure, I'll replay this and get this effect again.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Ryan's like, oh god, do I have to Hercules here?
No,
He's just gonna bolt.
Yeah,
He's
you just
bolt
have to
the
get
Tezzeret.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
This
Tezzeret goes down.
This means your Snapcasters are a little bit better.
Notably, Ryan is going to have Snap Cryptic up when he makes his next land drop.
Yeah. Notably, also, Martin still has mana to make a Thopter.
Yes. He is going to get Hercules here, though, I believe.
Yeah, I think Martin's gonna sack this, gain 1 life.
Sure, and then everything's going to
and
get
then
bounced.
everything gets Hercules back.
Okay. Whoop, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean the 1 life.
I mean, this is fine though.
free.
You have a Tezzeret still on board. Like, Ryan doesn't have an answer for that yet.
Yeah,
I think he just drew a Colligan's command, actually. That's almost certainly a Colligan's command.
Oh, well, that is quite good.
Not if you play Padim! Council of Innovation. Ooh, or just play that Collective Brutality. Mox Opal.
Ooh.
I like playing the Brutality first.
Yeah, here you're going to get punished because...
I mean, you just float, right?
Well, no,
oh
because
my.
because the
Oh, my.
because the Opal isn't online, Ryan could have responded to this
Yeah.
with Shocker Tezzeret.
Oh, wow. I'm
Shatter.
surprised Ryan hasn't responded yet.
Yeah.
I like the Brutality here a lot, and it's going to be big. Oh, maybe not. You're just going to jam artifacts until we're...
Okay, so again,
Snapcaster?
we got Snap Cryptic, though.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Or Snap Hercules.
No, definitely Snap Cryptic.
Okay. Now, you got a plus Tezzeret here? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
I mean, the Tezzeret does die to Snapcaster, so maybe it would have been better to make a 5/5 out of your Pentat Prism. Martin finds another one. Jeez. Prisms for days.
We do have a backup Thopter.
Backup Foundry?
Foundry in hand. No,
Okay.
excuse me, not backup Tezzeret.
Okay. Martin's like, 2 more mana. I would Brutality here. Yep, there we go. Brutality, discarding Sword, Snapcaster you. Ooh, wow. Okay. Ooh, and he gets a Colligan's command.
This is...
Oh, that's so rough for Ryan. And now Ryan doesn't have a way to kill the Tezzeret either.
No, I mean, he has a Creeping Tar Pit in hand, which...
In hand.
Yeah. All right. This,
I
redraw.
think he drew a Bolt. I think that's pretty good. Maybe? I don't know. He might have not drawn a Bolt. Here we go.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised that Martin's running these Pentat Prisms out so willy-nilly.
I agree.
Because you can accrue a lot of value from it.
Zuck. Get off the board. Alright, so now we're just going to draw make some Thopters, I assume?
There's a push. The
Push is good against Tar Pit.
You're right. I mean, so again, like, the Pentat Prism, like, now they're effectively useless.
Yeah. They get animated, but it's not ideal.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna go 4 mana here.
Padim? Just jam out a Padim?
Nope, 2 mana. I like the Thopter Foundry here. Like playing the Tezzeret just.
I don't think we have a Thopter Foundry though.
I thought we had another one.
Okay.
That's a reader. Okay, it's Howling Mine. At the beginning of your upkeep, you control the artifact with the highest converted mana cost or tied. You draw a card.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And Mar also with the Fatal Push means that he'll have an answer for this
Tar Pit.
Tar Pit.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can really do about that.
I mean, you know.
You can maybe
Ryan has enough
Cryptic
mana where he can Cryptic.
He's one off. He's one off of Cryptic.
He might.
Save
Yeah.
Pit.
Not
Okay.
quite
So we'll put Martin to 11 here, but it's fine, dude. He has a Padim.
Yeah, Howling Mine. Do we remember the trigger? We did remember
Yeah,
the trigger.
we did.
And then drew the Foundry here.
Merp. Play River of Tears. Play Welding Jar.
Oh, okay. We are now truly protected. That
4 mana, other Tezzeret. Okay. We'll go up, and we'll dig some more.
So one thing that Martin did that I don't like is that he left his Mox Opal up to play the Fatal Push. It's normally not gonna matter, but this means that Ryan might be able to interact with your mana.
Sure, I agree.
Whereas
yeah,
if you just left up,
leave up a land.
if you just
But it doesn't matter, and the Fatal Push is going to kill the Tar Pit. Yeah. And Tar Pit dies. Ryan is now completely off of pressure. Ryan notably hasn't drawn a Tassiger any of these games, which is like.
I mean, he has to play Tasker, right?
No. He does. I've literally played against him when he's had Tassigers in his deck. Yeah. Like he just hasn't drawn them, and it's a little bit unfortunate.
Actually, let me take back something I previously said.
Okay.
With Padim out, it's very hard to interact with Mox Opal.
Ooh, true. Extremely true.
Let me, yeah.
Okay, reveal another Welding Jar to this Tezzeret.
Sure.
Jeez. I mean, Welding Jar, not necessarily. Welding Jar will save your creatures, I guess. But your creatures all have hexproof.
Yeah. I mean, so Ryan now is looking for a Snapcaster to Hercules.
Ooh, Snap Hercules is pretty okay.
But yeah, no, it's not even good. It's just okay.
Martin has a Whir of Invention as his last card. He's just going to untap. I personally, at this point, would just make a 5/5 with Tezzeret. Dude, he's drawing 3 cards a turn. Because he gets 1 from the Tezzeret, 1 from the Padim. This is insane. Oh.
That's 3 cards, not 4.
I said 3.
Did you? Okay. So not of note as well.
Why are you not attacking with your Padim, dude?
Yeah. Of note, Martin is very close to killing with Tezzeret.
Oh, the ult?
Yeah.
The minus will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's not X, right? It's X
it's
times
2X?
It's definitely not X. It's an X multiplier.
Twice.
Yeah.
2X. Whoa, dude!
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this part of the Tezzeret. Oh, that's crazy. Wow, Ryan, it's coming, man. Oh wow, just minus.
Yeah.
And then minus. Yeah, Martin actually just counted his artifacts. I think he might have heard us.
Yeah. Also, of note,
he can whir for 2. Get the Foundry.
Yeah. Well, Tezzeret ults on 4, so.
Yeah, you play it in plus, and it's a lot of pressure if you have a lot of artifacts.
Yeah.
Let's see what
the problem with that line though is if Ryan responds with
Hercules.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, that's kind of atrocious.
But with this board state, you can literally replay your everything.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. He's just gonna plus and cantrip again.
Yeah.
I think I like the aggression a little bit more here. Okay.
The Crucible doesn't do anything.
Yeah, there's no Ghost Quarter or anything. I don't know. I really would have preferred Martin to start attacking here. I think he should have made a 5/5 with Tezzeret.
I would have made a 5/5 many turns ago.
Ryan, he can't even attack. He can't even touch your creatures because they have hexproof. This is an attack for 1.
It's a static.
Oh, this does deal with
static
the. Oh wait, no, it doesn't deal with the Thopters.
No, it does not. It does, however, block.
Yeah. Okay. Block the Padim. Go. So the thing is Martin is 1. What did he do?
Ryan's
he just
got surgical.
Okay. I don't hate it.
Yeah. So I would have. I a 5/5 is so powerful. Oh my God! Martin just revealed his hand.
I don't know what he targeted with the surgical.
I mean, now it makes sense to target.
Wait, everything just
World.
backed up. Now it makes sense to target. I mean, Martin can... So Ryan's not casting the surgical? Wait, what?
I'm a little confused. Oh, it looks like Ryan's not casting the surgical.
Okay. Thought Scour myself. Thought
Scour.
Scour... AV.
Okay, don't
Better
care
in the
about that.
yard with the AV, yeah.
I would be inclined to, like... Yeah, no, targeting yourself is definitely great. All right, well, here's Tassiger.
Finally, we get a Tassiger. Notably, Executioner's Capsule, not good.
No, but if I mean, Ryan knows...
Martin has double whir.
And Martin knows Ryan has surgical in hand, so he's just dead then.
Who is?
Ryan.
Oh, because it was Alta Tez.
He just alt Tez.
Yeah, I mean, what you do here if you're Martin is you just go for a whir, get an artifact.
Get anything.
Get anything, and then untap whir Altez.
Yeah, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Get anything, and you're good.
Tassiger gets activated here. We'll see what gets given away. You gotta give him the bolt, I guess. So he can bolt the Tassiger, but I think he just dies.
If I was Martin,
He's gonna whir for something. Because, like, if you... Yeah, it doesn't matter. The bolt won't stop
I
the Tez from ulting.
I would respond with Bolt in case Martin whirled for Spell Skite. And then you just lose.
Sure.
You just lose if he whirls for a Spell Skite.
Yep. There's the...
Here's a Relic.
I mean, this doesn't matter, really. Like, Martin just has lethal if he untaps it. But I think that the thing is this game could have been over so much faster if Martin had just made 5/5s with Tezzeret.
Yeah, doesn't he have the immobile? If he just made one, and it was just like, here's 5 a turn, can you deal with this?
We've seen Ryan's hand, especially the 5/5 has hexproof. That's sometimes a thing, is like your 5/5 will get killed and you need the artifact, but no. Your 5/5 has hexproof. Like, there's no reason to not just make a giant dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, now I would just ult, and that's lethal.
Hard to interact with that.
Yeah, I mean...
Cool. Yeah, this is for 18. And Ryan's like, huh?
Yeah, we're
hard to,
done here.
You gotta have a stifle there. There's going to be the handshake. Martin Sheeler, 2-0. Tezzeret were taking down Grixis control.
Stifle's not legal, but one card Ryan could have is Disallow.
Sure. Okay, he doesn't have a disallow. Just going to go out on a limb here and say that. All right. So, yeah, that will do it for that match. Tezzeret, pretty good against Grixis. Grixis having a hard time interacting that way. And Kolaghan's Command, just not enough artifact hate when your opponent's deck is like 30 artifacts. Another Snapcaster into Hercules might have bought some time. Again, Ryan, unfortunate with not getting the early Tassigers, but I think just generally it is very, very difficult for Grixis Control to ever beat this deck in a game of Sanctioned Magic. I just don't know, like... if you have the Tassiger pressure, like, maybe you get there if you sort of tempo them with the Tassiger, but, like, yeah. Like, once the Tezzeret comes down and minuses once, it makes a 5/5, like, that fights your Tassiger pretty handily. So, yeah, Martin just, the Padeems, though, oh, man. Padeem Council of something or other. Padeem Console of Innovation. Yeah, tons of value there. This Tezzeret deck, very slow, very grindy, very good against Grixis Control. It just outgrinds it completely. And with the addition of Whir of Invention, isn't just relying on drawing the cards. The Tezzeret Plus already gave you a lot of selection, but now Whir just lets you literally go get exactly what you need no matter what. So, pretty good stuff. Good play by Martin there. I think we wanted him to be a little bit more aggressive, but ultimately he does end up taking the match. And Dan is out of the booth right now. Dan is attempting to find another match for us. We did miss a follow notification about 20 minutes ago, thanks to the coupon bug for the follow. We appreciate you supporting the stream. We hope you'll stick with us on Wednesday nights as we do some Modern every week. But yeah, we get the match slips signed. I'm going to do some resetting of the overlays. If there are decks that people want to see, we'll take requests in the chat. It is a smaller night tonight, only 22 people in the shop jamming Modern, so might not have everything that people desire, but We did find a Tezzeret War deck, so there is random stuff just running around. Yeah, just like, how do you beat Thopter Sword? You don't, if you're Grixis. And, yeah. Hard games, rough matchup for Ryan. I can't imagine he'll be seeing that super frequently, in other places, but good enough to do it here. Dragon at Hate Bears. We might have an Eldrazi Taxes player, which is sort of Hate Bearsy. I don't know if that really, suits your taste, but maybe we can try to get him. I know he lost his first match, but we'll see what we can do about that. Should the opportunity come to put him on. People are standing near the table. To me, that makes me... Alright, so Dan has come back. He is gesturing to me like we do have a match. So Dan, who and what are we going to be watching since I haven't sat down yet?
We're watching Sean play against David. David's going to be on Grixis.
Shadow, Delver, Control.
I believe Delver.
Okay.
And Sean is on Abzan Company. David is up a game, and his life total is at 10, while Sean is at 23.
Okay, so we'll need to see which side of the table they end up sitting on.
Yes. Strangely enough, we have a lot of aggressive decks out there today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so where did our players go, Dan?
They're in the process of moving. They're in the middle of game 2. So
okay. Well, it's good that they're be willing to move.
But it's some interesting things. We have 2 ad nauseam players in the room tonight.
2 ad naus? We've had 0 ad naus the past 5 weeks.
Right. Who both played against each other.
So how does one win the ad naus mirror, Dan? Tell me.
You hardcast Simian Spirit Guide and you start hitting them.
Good point.
That is
good plays.
That is the best route to win.
To be fair, Simian Spirit Guide hits were what took. So it's gonna be David on the left here.
Yeah, David on the left here. Because for the ad naus, importantly, Lightning Storm for 30 is not great when they just go, okay, Angel's Grace.
Gross.
Yeah. Also, if they have Phyrexia on life out, you can't Lightning Storm them for 30.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's okay, I'll go to negative 20 something. That's fine.
Sure.
Is
Sean... And Sean looks like he's playing Abzan Company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that mirror is one of the worst mirrors in Modern. I was going to say in Magic. I'm not sure about older formats, but certainly in Modern, I think that's the worst mirror to play. It's just hideously unfun because all your cards are so good against each other.
Yeah, no, so actually we did see one time on stream, Simian Spirit Guide beats Get There against Ameria. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We were sitting here and the Simian Spirit Guides were just doing it.
Sometimes you just draw too many lands and the Simian Spirit Guides, you don't need them for Lightning Storm anymore because you just have enough mana sources.
So this will be an attack for 1 with a Delver, it looks like. This matchup for Grixis Delvers feels pretty hard if you don't have a good early pressure and stuff. Kitchen Finks is a beating to deal with. They can do stuff at instant speed to make you tap out and then resolve things on their turn. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually going to go adjust the camera and pull it slightly towards us because the glare seems to be higher than normal.
Sure.
All right, Dan, you're in charge of the ship.
Oh, man.
Tell the people what's happening.
I will run the ship into the ground. Alright, but it looks like Sean's going to lead off on a Noble Hierarch. And that's... and then attack with Kitchen Finks. David's Snapcaster, and I see a Terminate in the graveyard, so that seems like... Oh, we're going to go with Bolt instead. Sure. Sean's going to go ahead and gain the 2 life from this. And pass it over. Welcome back.
All right. That didn't really fix much. We'll try to get to it between rounds.
Yeah. Sean played Noble Hierarch, attack with Kitchen Finks. David Snapcastered a Bolt.
Okay.
To deal with it. And Sean gained 2 life from that.
Amazing.
David's really looking to flip this Delver, which...
yes.
We've seen in past weeks that has been a very difficult task.
Sometimes Delver doesn't flip and then you lose.
No, I mean, and short of Saren Visions, there's no way to set this up either.
Right, you just have to blind flip it.
Yeah.
But, like, that's part of playing Delver.
Well, the thing is, like, there are a lot of misses in this deck, right? I think only like a third of your deck hits.
Oh, he drew a land.
Yeah. Actually, maybe less than that.
No, you play like 27 spells.
So you play like 22 lands, right?
You play 19, 20 lands.
19,
20 lands, 27 spells, 12 creatures, roughly.
Yeah.
So, like,
Sure.
almost half your deck is
Half
hits.
your deck, sure. It's probably better now that you have like 4 land to play. You fetch a
Yeah.
couple times.
Here's the 2-for-1. Terminate, targeting the Finks.
Okay.
That'll get there.
Looks like that gets there.
And this is an attack for 3. Sean going to 21.
No fear for the Coco. Just no fear.
I mean, yeah, I'd be a little bit afraid.
It's just, I don't think we can beat a Coco.
I don't think we can either.
Yeah.
Draw a step. Sean plays another land.
Of unknown type.
It's a fetch land. It's a Verdant Catacombs. I saw that.
Okay, well,
Single. So now we can start. Okay, so now we can attack with a bird for 1 in the air if we really wanted to.
I mean, with my opponent at 9, at 10, like, you might as well. Like,
Put in a 9 with the Hierarch.
you have more than enough mana to cord.
Yeah.
I would only be concerned, like...
Trigger. Other Delver. Oh, it does not feel good.
No.
Yeah, so here's an attack for 3.
Yeah, I mean, one thing David could do is if he didn't want to draw the Delver, he could have cracked the fetch.
Oh, who's up in this match, by the way?
David is up 1 game.
Okay.
Here comes another Delver, this one foil.
Shiny.
Though surprisingly worth quite a bit of money for a common.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Actually, maybe
fetch here by Sean.
maybe unsurprisingly.
Yeah, it's only like one of the most popular decks in Legacy.
Yeah. That was a point where like foil treasure cruises were like $20.
Yeah, dude, I opened a foil Treasure Cruise like before it got banned, sold it for 20. Best sell of my life. I was like, I'm not gonna play this foil Treasure Cruise. I'll just play these, the rest of the like draft commons that I have.
Yeah.
And then Treasure Cruise happened. What is that? Oh, it's a Murmuring Bosk. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Another card that doesn't see a whole lot of play.
Yeah.
But it is one of the tri-lands that I've seen MtgCard decks play.
Oh no! It's a disaster! He drew his Maelstrom Pulse and now the Delvers are dead. No!
This is a bit of a disaster, yes.
I'm so sad. Oh no, here's an attack with a Hierarch, put you to 8. Oh, that feels so bad. And that,
that's an Archangel.
Okay.
That's going to require a prompt answer.
That needs to be answered now or the game is over.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, that's
Mercy. He's only got 1 card. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like we're taking a trip on the pain train. This also suggests that Sean has Spike Feeder in the deck. Oh, great. We get to hit for 5.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these Abzan company decks default to Spike Feeder as their primary win con.
Answers? Oh, no answers.
Oh, God. Take 5.
3. Sean to 22.
Now, let's see if he remembers this trigger.
He's pointing at his creatures. You don't forget this one. Dude,
This
this is how even Flock won the Pro Tour. This is how Sean Sankara is going to win this game of Magic.
Archangel of Thune, kind of absurd with sheep.
Yes. All right.
All right.
That's it. The game's over. Archangel of Thune. Oh, God. What a disgusting Magic card.
So one reason this has increased in popularity is like it's very difficult to interact with. This can't be pushed.
Yeah.
It's a one card like win combo, right? Because like it's a flyer, it's difficult to interact with naturally, and eventually like you just hit them a couple times with it. Like this alone will win the game.
Yes. Yes, it will.
Also, there's a
the fact that you like the thing is if you have a board of useless dorks, this is just like similar to Gavney Township. It just turns them into threats, and then you beat your opponent to death with them.
This also resets your kitchen finks, which is kind of cute.
It is. I mean, I think if you hit with this card plus like 2 creatures on board, you literally can't lose.
Right. Yeah.
Like barring them like literally comboing you out. But in a fair matchup like this, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about good Coco hits in the chat here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the bad hits, like double birds.
And look on the bright side. You at least hit 2 creatures.
Yeah, sometimes you just put the top 6 cards on the bottom.
You know, I can't help but, smile when, my opponent looks at the top 6, shuffles them around a little bit, and then just puts them on the bottom. It just warms my soul. And while you do feel a little bit bad for them, I can't help but, glean some joy from my opponent's misery. It's a German word from this.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great word.
It is a great word. It definitely describes a lot of feelings I have about Magic sometimes. Oh, and thanks to D-Tin for the follow. Sorry I missed that about 10 minutes ago, but we appreciate your support of the stream. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Coco is very powerful, but you got to remember that, sometimes you miss, and then you lose. But, I mean, obviously you wouldn't play it if it were, that bad, right?
Right.
Sometimes you do it and you win.
Yeah, the WotC design team has actually come out and said that,
Coco was a mistake? Yes.
Coco should have been sorcery speed.
Wow, dude. If only they could have remembered that before they put an instant speed card advantage piece into green.
Yeah. The problem is, it made every creature they printed afterwards so much better. Reflector Mage was a fine card. Coco into Reflector Mage was unreasonable.
And just, patently unfair.
Yeah, it was unreasonable. Just unreasonable.
Sean looking like he's got some lands and a spike feeder in his hand. He also has at least 1 Coco. I did see that with my own eyes. We are running down on time in the round, so these players are going to have to get a move on, but Sean looks like he's going to mulligan.
Yeah, they also have a couple of extra minutes because they shifted over.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I imagine that happened. Thanks to Hodge Gulashi for the follow. We appreciate your support of the stream. Hope you'll stick with us on Wednesday nights as we continue to get the modern format on camera.
Yeah, K-Command also a very good card. Really, a lot of that command cycle.
I mean,
Was
Atarka's
quite
and
powerful.
Kolaghan's and... Okay, so Dromoka's command literally dominated Standard.
Dromoka's command was busted. In Standard, it was absurd.
Yes, because frequently it was just removal spell, buff my guy, hit you with my buffed guy.
Yes. For 2 mana.
Yeah.
I think if Dromoka's command cost 3, it would still see
Fair.
play.
Yes, okay, Sean has to mull the 5 here, though.
Okay, well, this, not out of the woods yet. Coco can do a fair amount digging him out of this hole.
Yeah, I mean, so let's think about that. Let's think about commands, right? Dromoka's command at some point was seeing maybe one of play in random Abzan lists.
No,
in Modern.
Yeah, still very playable. If you play Abzan, you can have one in your sideboard.
Yeah,
it's not embarrassing.
So it's not embarrassing there. Kolaghan's command, obviously, extremely powerful card, widespread play in many archetypes.
Yeah. Instant speed discard.
Instant speed discard is really
underrated.
dumb.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Then you have Atarka's
command.
command. Used to be a staple 4 of in Burn. They moved away from it a little bit. Still extremely powerful. Still not embarrassing to have his Skullcrack effects in your board.
Right. Potentially a Skullcrack with upside.
Yeah. Ojutai's command sometimes may be playable in blue. Whoa, did. Oh no, so David is on the play this game. Okay, so he'll start with a Delver. That's where you want to be. If it doesn't flip, you're really sad, though.
Ojutai's command, a little bit outshadowed by Cryptic command.
Yeah.
But, has seen play in Modern. Particularly the bringing a creature back.
Yeah.
Quite powerful.
Okay, so David will flip a Dismember off the top and flip the Delver, too. And this is good. This is how you punish mulligans, is you just make a really big, you make a big flying dude and you get him.
You get him, and you can even dismember the Noble. Okay.
I think he has a Fatal Push as well, actually. He'll flip a Surgical, he'll flip a Pyromancer, and he'll draw.
Oh, okay, so this is much more, traditional.
Oh, he'll go with Thoughtseize instead. Okay.
I like the Thoughtseize as well.
Tireless Tracker, Marsh Flats, and then 2 cards that we can't... Tide Hollow Sculler,
I can't
see the last one.
I think that's a Gavany.
I could see it being a Gavany.
Alright, we're gonna take the Tireless Tracker, though.
Okay. That card is pretty hard to beat sometimes. Looks like we'll be playing up. Is that another Tireless there? No, that's a Viscera.
That's a Viscera. Okay, so I think, this is the best take. Especially if you have double removal spell, which if you have Fatal Push.
Notably, Sean can't cast anything in his hand.
Oh, that's incredibly... yeah, no Black Source. Well, this makes this play much easier.
What?
Oh, that's an Auric champion.
We'll pull that up here.
This, certainly out of the sideboard.
Frankly, I'm not hugely on board with the not killing the Hierarch there.
No, I would have favored killing the Hierarch. Especially, like...
Thought Scour again.
Yeah.
Ooh, he flipped a Steam Vents and a Blessing Mire. Flipping your fetchables in this deck is not where you want to be. He doesn't have a red source, notably, but, like, push the Hierarch. Goodbye. And then attack. Okay, wait, so he should... Sean's at 12 here, because this is the second Delver hit. Yeah, because he flipped the Delver attacked, yeah. Okay.
And he has tapped the Horizon Canopy the third time here.
Yeah, so he'll go to 11. Horizon Canopy can be very, very painful. Does have a birds here, get the fixing going. Oh, but he does get a trigger, go back up to 12 from that.
The Auric Champion, I think, is a little too low impact for me to want to board it.
I agree. It doesn't die to any removal, but it also doesn't really do anything else. Like, it sure gains you some incidental life, but that's not good enough, I think.
Yeah, the pro black might be able to block a Tasker for, like, a while.
Oh, that's true, actually. I actually don't hate that. Tide Hollow Sculler, Sean down to...
Alright.
Sean down to 8. Let's see what we're going to get a look at here.
Let's be careful not to... Okay. One mistake you sometimes see players make is you respond to the trigger, which is not what you want to do.
No. So, like, Dismember, Bolt... I think you have to take the Dismember here. Because he can't cast the Bolt right now, and the Snapcasters aren't doing anything on this little mana. I think it's Dismember actually not close.
Yeah, I think it's this way. Because you have a backup Snapcaster as well.
Yeah, you have to just YOLO and hope that they don't draw the red. I don't like this. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, Dismember means he'll guaranteed be able to get it back if he needs to.
Yeah.
But it
Man,
conversely,
this glare is getting really bad.
Conversely, it is the only card that
Snapcaster to block the champion. You knew about this. I mean, to be fair, he gets a Snapcaster for no value. Did he remember here the trigger to go up to 9?
Looks like they haven't touched the life totals.
Okay. Draw step. This Delver is also going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, Sean is falling very low.
And he draws the land.
Then we draw... Okay, now...
Well, now you're fine, though, because you took the Bolt.
But, I mean, David can always Dismember and get it back.
No, he just... Oh, yeah. Oh, right. He didn't Dismember yet. That's right. Okay. This is an attack to put Sean to 5.
And I don't hate that play at all. If I was David right now, I would Dismember the Tide Hollow, bolt the birds, and all of a sudden...
You're on, like, what, 2 permanents and one's a Horizon Canopy?
One's a Horizon Canopy, you're facing
down
a Delver.
Yeah.
Like, Sean has to draw Path right now, and then you have a Snapcaster. You can Snapcaster back the Path, the Bolt. Like, you're in fantastic shape here. Yeah. But a little... because ooh.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Sean going deep here. Draws, I think, a second Gavany.
I mean, Sean has to draw a Path, right?
Oh, Seer. Okay.
Sean's just dead now, though, right?
Unless he has removal.
David's just going to Dismember the Tide Hauler, Bolt face, Snap Bolt.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair.
We're just dead, right?
I think so. I don't know why he didn't tap to play the bird.
Yes. I mean, admittedly, Sean was in pretty terrible straits, regardless of what he did.
I agree, but this just actually makes you dead.
Right. I think, and if I was David, I think it would have been a little more aggressive in trying to cut down the mana.
Yeah.
Especially when I saw my opponent.
I think
not
cutting
only
down the mana is super right.
Yeah. Miss land drops. You have a Horizon Canopy, which is super awkward.
Agreed. Snapcaster. Target. Thought Scour?
No, push.
Oh, push, right.
I'm a little surprised to see this, because...
Sack to Scry. I mean, it's not going to matter, right?
It's not going to matter. If Sean's at 3, like, it won't matter.
Give him the Bolt back. Yes, that's his. Thank you.
Okay. If we have life totals correct, we should be done here.
Be...
It's possible that,
I mean, he still has beats, and then...
It's possible that Sean remembered one of the Auric Champion triggers that we did, so he might be at 4. But, like, how are we winning this game from this position?
Don't know.
Right? Like,
don't know.
Your effect, at most, you're at, like, 1?
Sure. And then you can't Horizon Canopy further. Thoughtseize you again. Other Gavany in hand. David down to 9. Yeah, Thoughtseize is doing work here.
Yeah. If you draw Path to Exile, you can't even Path.
That's going to do it. David Stream gets it. 2-1 over Sean. I'm going to go out there and adjust the camera again because that glare was getting pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up and over.
We're actually This round is going to be finishing up here pretty quickly. Why don't we go ahead and just cut to a break right now?
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, so we'll go to a quick, say 3-minute break or 4-minute break. We'll be back like almost immediately. If the round starts faster than that, we'll be back faster than that. But yeah, 4-minute break. We'll be right back, folks. And we are back here, Wednesday Night Modern, here at MTGCardMarket. So yeah, round 3 just got started. Adjusted the camera a little bit. Hopefully things work out with that. We're going to go right down to the play overlay, though, and get straight into this. Okay, so on the left, we're going to have Sam Schultz. Sam is playing blue-white control, a little bit different than the build we saw from Vince. On the right, we're going to have Paul Green, who just came through into the back, so he's going to be a second getting to the table. I know that Paul from talking to him earlier is playing Grixis, Death's Shadow.
Okay, so what is
he's on blue-white pile.
Okay, seems like to be a theme tonight.
Yeah, 2 blue-white pile. There's at least 1 Grixis Shadow deck out there because I'm lending mine currently. So 2 Grixis Shadow, 2 Adnos. Things come in 2s here apparently.
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, like, Shadow is just becoming increasingly popular.
The thing is for a lot of people who already own some of these decks, it's a pretty easy conversion, especially the Grixis version. I'm not going to even discuss the disgustingness that is like $40 Mishra's Baubles, but
that's the only choke point, right? Everything
sure,
else
yeah,
is
no, that's what I'm
right.
saying.
Like, Death Shadow would be a choke point if it wasn't just reprinted.
Dude, I saw that reprint and I was so happy with Wizards. Like, oh my god, what a next level play. You reprint Death Shadow.
That would have been a serious choke.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Don't worry.
Just like Bobble is. Although, like, a lot of decks, you know, the non-green versions of the deck don't play Bobble because why would you?
Yeah. Also, yeah, like, that's one of the things. Like, you know, for someone, like, and this is, yeah, that's why Grixis, you know, one of the reasons, honestly, I think that sometimes people innovate with Grixis in Modern is because they're like, A, I don't own Goyfs, or B, I don't want to play Goyf.
Which, like, you know, can be understated sometimes. There's a lot of people who really don't enjoy playing Goyf decks.
Also, there's just a lot of people who don't own Goyf.
I mean, they're, like, very reasonable now. Well, all things considered.
Relative to what they've been, I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah. I just, like, you know, for people who maybe like came into the format through like the blue-red X side, like, and are moving towards the green side,
it's pretty rough. Yeah,
it's gonna be rough no matter what.
I think we're talking like 70 now, as opposed to like
120.
Yeah.
Sure. You know what? I personally, I'm very happy with Wizards' decision to constantly reprint it. Mm-hmm. I think it has to happen for, you know, the format to remain even moderately accessible.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, there's still a lot of cards that are just like have not been reprinted and are expensive solely because of that.
What are you thinking about?
Specifically, the one that is perhaps, you know, most egregiously follows this line is Grove of the Burn Willows.
Oh, sure. That card's disgusting.
That card sees very little play now.
Sam's on a one-lander white land. Or two-lander, one land was a tech edge.
Sometimes you get punished.
Oh, yeah. Engineered Explosives and Chalice getting mentioned in the chat here. Those cards are quite pricey.
Oh, yeah. Engineer's getting pretty bad. Chalice, because of legacy play, also, you know, like we're talking in the 50s now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Engineered Explosive spiked super hard when Death Shadow got good.
Well, I mean...
Before the pro ban.
It's one of your best... You know, I mean, this is like 3 mana kill multiple things, or like 3 mana like preemptively... Well, like 1 mana preemptively cast it, but like 3 mana instant speed, you can blow it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. It's also like the flexibility is just so high.
Yeah, no, Engineered Explosives is definitely a card that when I was first getting into the format, I was like, I'm going to get 1 Engineered Explosives because everyone seems to play this, and I was like, yeah, this card's great.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of like one-of cards I got for like Sweet Cyber Tech that like.
Ooh, you know, Sam's on another no-lander here, going to 5. This game might not really be a game. We'll see how well Sam can catch up. I don't know if he... So he's certainly not playing the Nahiris that we saw earlier from Vince, so, like, this is going to be rough.
Yeah, I mean, if Sam is able to grind it out, like, he may be able to stabilize.
He's on 5.
But 5 is
if he gets Thoughtseized or Iocade, it's really hard. Because then you just, you know, you keep, like, a 4-lander and you lose your only non-land.
Right. Or, you know...
Or whatever, like, yeah, but, you can... It's very easy to lose to Thoughtseize at this point.
Yeah, but, like, you know, we can draw out of this, because we play cards like, you know, Wall of Omens, if he's on, like, the Resto package. You know, we have Wall of Omens, Resto to, like, buy a lot of time. If Paul's on a Grixis version, there's no trample effects. So...
Yeah.
You know, you also don't have to worry about Goyfs. So, you know, the
right.
super high power threats.
Looks like...
We gotta keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Finds a blue land on top, I believe, though.
Okay, that's great. We'll start off with a polluted delta for Paul. I'm assuming he'll be going to 17.
Alright, fetching for a watery grave.
And it looks like we are going to have a discard spell. This hand seems quite reasonable.
This hand seems quite good for 5.
I mean, I think you take the Snapcaster?
I would take the Serum.
Yeah, I know. It's one of these.
The Serum Visions will give you most selection, right?
Yeah. He'll take the Snapcaster, though, it looks like. It's fine. Sam's draw step. He does have a... I guess he doesn't have a Spreading Seas. He does draw a Path. Wow, this is great. I would absolutely blow the Fetch Shock into Serum
Fetch Shock Serum Visions, yeah. Not close.
You
know, even Fetch for Island is reasonable.
Fetch Island, yeah. Alright, so...
So, I mean, all things considered, like, we're on 5, like, this is as good as it gets.
Absolutely, you can't hope for more. You know, if Paul continues to have discard spells, then it's like you're getting wrecked anyways.
Yeah, but like even a 7 on 7, that would be pretty rough.
Yeah.
We see one land, which is definitely 2 lands.
I think you bought them both. You've got lands of play.
I would 100% bottom both.
You're looking for this action. Or maybe you just top the one.
Even if we're looking for a 4th land, because there's such a high density of land in your deck.
You topped one, and I agree with you. I don't necessarily like the keep.
This is something that...
Paul will just pass, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, this is something that...
Now you just play the Colonnade tapped. You're not afraid.
Yeah.
Nothing gives haste.
This is something a lot of the pros have advocated. Like, even if you need a land...
Yeah.
Because your odds of hitting that 4th land just naturally are pretty high. Like, guaranteeing yourself, unless you have, like, unbeatable Haymaker in hand.
Right.
Like, it's almost always correct to, like, bottom those things.
And yeah, so now Sam does rip a second path too with a, with the fetch here. Paul's gonna go to presumably 14. Yeah. Okay. One of the things in this Grixis deck is you fetch for Blood Crypt a lot, actually, and it's something that doesn't feel right because normally you used to never fetch for Blood Crypt, but the base black in the deck is much higher.
Yeah.
End of turn. Looks like Paul's just going to play an empty Snapcaster Mage. He realizes that he needs to pressure.
Ooh, okay. I mean, this makes
he draws a Scalding Tarn, so...
How bad is Paul's hand? Where
he has double Death Shadow.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, drawing the fetch here means that...
They're 2/2s. Yeah. I don't think that's good enough.
I mean, but they only get bigger, right? And
yes, but yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I would certainly not play both.
I would play one. The thing is that Sam, you do have a Stubborn Denial in hand, so you might want to try to protect them a little bit more. Like, because if you can get to 9 life, the critical number here, the Stubborn Denial just wrecks.
Well, the problem is the first one is never going to be able to be protected for Stubborn Denial, right? You're not going to have the 4 power. So the first one will always be countered if it's going to be countered.
Yeah.
The second one means that you're playing you're pretty heavily into Wrath.
I am not a huge fan of the double shadow here, because then you're just going to get double path, right?
A double path, Sam...
I think he might have a third shadow, actually. Yeah, he has a third shadow. Okay.
Geez. Okay.
But, like, Paul is actually on a pretty slow draw. Like, he needs to draw, like, a Street Wraith into a fetch, and then we're in business.
Yeah. Paul's...
Verdict is also quite good for Sam here, but right. Paul's got to just hope he doesn't have it. Path to Exile will exile a Death Shadow.
I think I might have waited to see if I can rip a Verdict off the top.
Sure. Yeah, I don't hate it. Wow, though. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Paths for years.
Yeah, it's going to run Paul out of basics with, I think, the 3rd path.
Yeah, there's only 2 basics in this list.
Yeah. But yeah,
might have to go up to a 3rd now.
Paul's fairly fortunate that he didn't get completely blown out.
Upkeep, path your Death Shadow. Paul's like, well, I can't really do anything about this.
Yeah, a little bit risky in that he didn't decide to play around Stubborn now in case Paul had
Street Wraith.
The Street Wraith, or even like a
that happened. I mean, he can do that no matter what, though. Paul never was below 1 blue.
Right.
Nice basics though. Paul. Are those what those are?
They're not Unhinged or Guru, so I'm not familiar.
Attack for 2, put you to 15. And play the 3rd Shadow. This is the one where I might have said hold up.
Hold up until I can protect it with Stubborn.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, he is playing around Mana Leak.
Sure, but he has enough lands that he can do that anyways.
Right.
Say go. I mean, Sam doesn't really have things. Like, so the thing is like, the Snapcaster is beating down. I think you just path
I think I path here, yeah.
Yeah, you just do it, and Paul's just like, oh no.
Crucially, because these are paths...
There's a possibility that Paul terminates his own Death Shadow in response.
Right, because nope, like, once they're gone, like...
You can't K-command these back.
Yeah. Oh, and looks like, since Paul had a second basic, that was just...
Snapcaster. Okay, now this is where the path gets Stubborn Denialed. Yeah, force spike your path. Snapcaster stay in play though, and then Paul probably blow the Terminate on the Snapcaster here.
All right, we exiled the wrong spell there though.
Oh no! He might have tried to Serum Visions.
Oh, this is all main phase.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's
like there's like actually a legitimate reason.
Yeah, no, this is all perfectly reasonable.
Flip Snapcaster, flip Watery Grave, not great. Fetch target, draw Bolt. The Bolt is pressure. Attack you. 13. This is another Snapcaster draw here.
Quite good.
Yes. Extremely quite
Especially when you know your paths are like permanently online now.
good. Yeah, your paths are just gas.
Unfortunately, there's no way to like
Another Thought Scour for Paul. Thought Scour, target myself.
Yeah.
Serum, push, draw. Draws another shadow.
Okay, so now
you can
now
build
the test is
yourself.
like the Sam.
You weren't ready, son.
Oh no.
I like letting this trade and bolting yourself to enable the Stubborn Denial Shadow. Yes, absolutely.
What, sorry, say that again.
I like bolt. So I like just let this trade happen. Bolt yourself and turn on Stubborn Denial Shadow.
Sure.
He's gonna bolt the snap though.
So Sam targeted a path, so you're not going. If you let these trade, you can't play the Death Shadow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so this will get through.
All right. Looks like Sam is going to
maybe flashback the path.
Well, he's gonna use the path as a
End
way
phase,
of like.
yeah.
Yeah. What?
That seems questionable.
Yeah, I think he realized that a little bit too late.
He draws a Spreading Seas. That's just a cantrip. That's really... we're making some gestures in the booth here. That does not seem like the play. You got to pat that Snapcaster if you
It's completely free. It's not like, you have 3 in the graveyard, so it's not like you're going to run out of these.
No, agreed. Spreading Seas. Target Blood Crypt, probably?
Probably Blood Crypt.
That's fine. You keep him on 1 red. He only needs 1 red, but... Oh my god.
Wow.
Dude, Sam Schultz, the Path Drawer?
Paul Green draws all 4 Death Shadow. Sam draws all 4 paths.
Yeah.
But
Thoughtseize, boys.
Thoughtseize is going to be quite good.
Thoughtseize enables the Stubborn Denial, too. Oh, be still my heart. Get him.
This might get leaked.
No.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
No! It was a trap! It was a trap all along!
Oh,
no! And now Paul has... No, please!
I mean, he had to do that, though, right? Because Paul could have just paid for the mana
Yeah,
leak.
you're right.
There was no play around that.
Oh, God. Serum Visions for Paul, using that islanded blood...
Draws a snap. Okay, we're done now.
Are we?
Drew a Snapcaster.
Sure. You have Denial, Snap Denial.
Yeah.
Goes a 5.
I mean,
Verdict?
Sam needs to draw a Verdict.
He draws land. He didn't play his land last turn, and he could have activated Colonnade. Not like it'll matter. It just gets terminated. Paul's like, Thoughtseize you. This makes my Death Shadow bigger.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lethal attack.
This would be a lethal attack here.
Hey, get him. Hey, turn your guy sideways.
I mean, Paul has super lethal because he can always snap Thoughtseize as well.
Yep. He's at 5.
It might target himself.
Okay.
Or bolt.
That's going to do
This
it.
is all fine.
Okay. So, yep. Grixis Death Shadow does pull it out over the mulligan to 5 from blue-white. We were close.
Surprisingly close. I think Sam had a fighting chance if he took a slightly different line.
Sure. All right. So we'll put both players back to 20. Hopefully Sam gets better luck with his, with his mulligans.
Yeah,
that was brutal.
as far as a mull to 5 goes, that's as much as you can hope for, right?
I absolutely agree. Yeah, no, the mull to 5, pretty hard, but let's see. What is Sam going to bring? He's bringing in triple Sphinxes, Rev? What?
No. This does not seem like the time where we do that.
Dude, wait, no. I swear to God, he just put his Rest in Peace back in the deck box.
I mean, Rest in Peace a little
Rest in Peace is awesome.
Oh, right, because, the Taskers.
You know how sad turn 2 Rest in Peace makes this deck?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would argue it's not as good as it is against the Grain versions.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's because it shuts off Traverse and Goyf. But,
And Grim Flares, if they run them.
Sure, but, Rest in Peace, amazing against this deck, too. Thought Scour, Snapcaster, Kolaghan's Command, and the Delve threats, are barely cast. You have to have every mana source in your deck to cast Fish.
Yes.
You play 7 tappable lands, and Gurmag Angler costs 7 mana.
A Thought Scour becomes, hideously bad when it's just 1 mana cycle.
Yeah, I mean, you Thought Scour them, of course, but...
Yeah, I mean, at that point, why not?
Yeah, mill them.
Although, technically, if you Thought Scour yourself, it's not the worst either, because you can just gain more information what's in your deck. But if you Thought Scour one of your fetchable lands...
Look, even without Rest in Peace, when you Thought Scour your fetchable lands, you sort of play a little tap.
It feels really bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Especially if you get, unlucky, and all of a sudden, you hit multiples of them, and that...
Dude, I shit you not. I thought scoured myself. I play the white splash post board. I thought scoured myself, and I flipped my Godless Shrine into Lingering Souls. And I was like, amazing! I can still cast this! But I didn't have white for the rest of the game. You have like 4 cards that are so good if you have the white splash, though, because you have Ranger of Yos and 3 Lingering Souls. But I was just like, thought scoured myself. Sure. Godless Shrine. Oh my god. Lingering Souls. Okay, it could be worse, but it was also pretty bad. Yeah. Ruined Halos coming in from the board here. Pretty good. Especially against Grixis. They don't really have a good way to deal with Ruined Halo.
No, I mean, against the green version, you have Abrupt Decay, of course.
Yeah.
But here, Ruined Halo is just kind of awkward to deal with. Naming Death Shadow, obviously very good. Naming Tasker, a little less good because they can still activate.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's still pretty good, though, because you're not going to die.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear not dying is the place to be nowadays. It's a good place to be.
So I've been told.
Yeah. But, alright, looks like Sam's still contemplating on the sideboard. It's actually kind of interesting. There's a lot of different paths.
Maybe he did bring the Rest in Pieces in.
The Rest in Pieces are reasonable.
Oh, they were Spell Quellers. Jetpack Blue's telling us. Thank goodness.
Okay, Spell Queller seems excellent.
Yeah, no, Spell Queller's great. Like, they don't really have good ways to kill Queller. Like, I mean, okay, so they can kill the Queller. It just, you have to revolt a push. But they really don't play that many bolts these days.
Right, and also, like, there's a possibility that the number of removal spells also is lower post-board.
Agree, because you're playing against blue-white control. Like, what actually do they have?
Yeah, they didn't show you anything game 1 where you really cared about. Like, obviously pushing Colonnade, quite good. But, like, it to keep them in your deck solely for that reason, like, you want to win before they're activating Colonnades.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we'll see what's going to happen here. Players shuffling out for the second game. Again, Sam did lose that first game on a mull to 5, so like can't really
and I think that needs to be stressed. Like, it was a very close game given that.
Yeah, like 2 more cards you might even win.
No, I mean, like,
dude, when you draw all 4 paths, like, it's good.
Yeah, and I mean, he got wrecked, a couple times by the Stubborn and I think he might have taken some less than optimal lines. Like,
he has double path in his hand again. Jeez.
Yes. Having them in your opening hand is actually a bit of a liability in case you get get them stripped away. But I'd rather have them than not.
I mean, even if they get stripped away, at least they're in your graveyard and not in your deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul looks like he's gonna cycle a Street Wraith, go to 18. God, I love Street Wraith. Card's so good. Gonna fetch with a Scalding Tarn here, go to 15. And get a Watery Grave. We'll see what he does discard-wise here. Or if he has it's either going to be okay, so it's a cantrip instead of discard. Most of the time, like, you want to, like, you'd obviously prefer to be just, like, in your opponent's hand, just, like, eating that up. But if you, like, the thing is you play so many 1-minute spells, you're almost always doing something. And honestly, like, that's one of the things with these Death Shadow decks is they start double and triple spelling so quickly. Yeah. Like, you go turn 1, like, Thoughtseize into turn 2, like, Thougtscour Tassiger, into turn 3, like, Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Death Shadow sort of thing, and that's a thing that you can do.
Well,
it's so fast.
This is one of, like, as a Jund player, this is one of, like, the big benefits of, like, playing that deck. It was like you had multiple high power, like, high impact 1-mana spells. This just removes all the clunky bits of it. Like, you don't actually have to get to, like, 4 land. Everything in your deck, like, you top out of Call Guns. Like, Tassiger obviously costs more, but it's effectively a 1-drop. For all intents and purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like Paul is going to fetch again here. Put himself to 12. Man, not caring about, like, your fetch shocks just feels great.
It feels great. It really
does. He's like, don't care. And here's a Tassiger. Yep. Okay. This is what I'm saying. Like, the turn 2, he didn't even Thoughtscour for that. He just, like, had fetches and Street Wraiths.
Yeah, I mean, the fetches certainly help enable that.
I mean, of course, but, like, you need Thoughtscour. Like, most of the time you do need Thoughtscour. So this will be a path to exile. Get the Tasker down, but, like, again, you're pretty okay with this. It's not the best, but, like,
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I like pathing right now. You got blown out pretty badly by Stubborn Denial. And actually, Paul didn't show Sam the second Stubborn Denial that was in hand.
Yeah.
But,
all right, so we do have a fetch land to put yourself to 9 and turn on Stubborn Denial, which I really like here.
yeah.
I think it's actually not close. That's what the right play is.
Yeah, Paul actually is getting a bit flooded here.
He is a little bit.
I think he will have drawn...
Ooh, Foam. Fulminator Colonnade. Nice.
Okay.
That's a pretty good play, actually. I don't hate that either. I mean, Sam isn't going to run out of white sources or anything, but it does take Colonnade off the table, keeps him off Cryptic for another turn. At this point, though, Paul does need to, I think, crack this fetch, deploy the Shadow, and go to work.
I mean, Paul also has a Tasker in hand.
Yeah.
That he can, like, bank on that. We're getting actually pretty... I mean, yeah, we can just cast Tasker next turn. Which
Yeah,
is a
I mean,
perfectly
so
fine
this
play.
turn we can play Shadow and not play Tassiger. Unless he has a Thought Scour. You need to go up on cards in the graveyard, basically, to play Tassiger here.
No, I mean, no, you can just hardcast Tasker. You get 6
I mean,
mana.
you can hardcast Tassiger, but I prefer being able to hold up a Denial.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. But Paul does have another land in hand. He has a Blood Crypt.
Yeah.
So we can play Tasker, hold up Denial.
Oh, right, because that Polluted Delta was from a previous turn.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, so he'll draw a step. Oh, we can do both. Gross. Yeah, you're right. But I mean, I don't hate playing Shadow here. It's a 6/6.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow is a must-answer threat.
Just so hard to deal with a 1-mana 6/6, you know? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, and Paul actually has access to Denial, Snap, Denial.
Yeah, this game might be rapidly spiraling out of control here.
Yeah, Sam with a Timely will make him some creatures, but won't
No.
gain him any life.
We'll get Stubborn Denial.
I mean, like, okay, assuming that card resolved.
Oh, sure. I guess if I was Paul, I would yeah, sure. You can play 3 mana and gain 6. Like I don't.
He's
care
not
about
going
that.
to gain 6, though. Sam has more life.
Oh yeah, this is like make 3/3s. Yeah.
So it looks like Sam's choosing whether or not to escalate a Blessed Alliance. It doesn't matter because Stubborn Denial's a card.
Yeah.
This feels bad. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Send in the reinforcements. Zap. Yeah, so this is +4 to you, and sack an attacking creature, and instead you're going to take 6.
Yeah. But Paul has 1 mana in the gate.
1 mana negate, good card.
Quite good card. It's shocking how big of a difference 1 mana.
Oh,
is.
it's quite shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm always shocked. The question is, do you snap Denial here? Or do you just start attacking and try to grind?
So the problem if you don't denial this is so many turns.
You have a Fatal Push.
Right.
He says, fine, let's it resolve.
So but you're fogging this Death Shadow for 3 turns.
2 turns.
Well, I mean if you push 1. But yeah, 2-turn fog is not bad at this point. I'll take it.
I will too. I just I don't think it's game winning by any means.
No.
Make the Death Shadow a little bit bigger here with this fetch land, or with this shock.
Yeah.
Attack you, fetch. Oh, he's gonna try to path here probably.
Yeah.
And get wrecked by Snap, Stubborn Denial.
Yeah, but now
I mean, now he can also just block it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Paul will probably follow up with a post-combat Tassiger.
Yeah, well, the Tasker, I think I'm happy with just leaving 1 thread. Like, we need to remember, this is a 4x Supreme Verdict deck.
Oh, no, it's another Blessed Alliance. Again, Snap, Stubborn Denial here.
Yeah, we have to protect this Death Shadow. But, I certainly would not deploy this Tasker.
Yeah, oh, you're right. And you can play it if you want, though. Down to one soldier token left. Look at the hand.
The thing is, we're so far ahead.
Yeah.
And we only lose to a Supreme Verdict. Right? That's literally the only route to losing right now.
Yeah, I agree. But he does play the Tassiger.
Okay.
Like, you lose to Verdict.
So, and
Sam also now has 2 Cryptics in hand, plus a Sphinx's Rev.
The Cryptics would buy quite a bit of time. So the important thing also is, if Sam Verdict, you can play Tassiger and leave up activation mana.
Yeah, that's fair. So Jetpack Blues, interested in thoughts on the full name. So Paul immediately Stone Rained with it, a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that was right, or do you think he should have just played it until there was a thing to deal with it?
I would have held it up. I don't think cutting them off of white was that critical.
Yeah, also, he probably has lands in hand, right?
Yeah, like if I seen Sam miss a land drop, I do that immediately.
Sure.
But you did that in the dark, and Sam had 3 more lands in hand or something like that.
Yeah, you just sort of wasted
You took your turn 3 off. No,
Right.
actually, I guess that was turn 4. You took that turn completely off to accomplish very little.
Agreed.
You're playing against a deck that obviously has many more lands than you do, and will get there.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, you just want... Oh, he draws another Fulminator here. Probably not very good. So he got Cryptic tapped here. Okay.
Yeah, Sam Cryptic tapped. He drew a Crucible, which it might be a little bit slow here.
Crucible's probably slow. He can't play Crucible and hold up Cryptic, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah.
Colonnade the draw. I mean, obviously play the Colonnade. But I think you have to hold up
You
Cryptic
have to hold
again.
the Cryptic.
If you get hit... Like, and the thing is now Paul gets to activate.
Yeah. It is a blind activation, though. I think Paul delved away his entire
Yeah, he
figure.
did. And honestly, I sort of like that. In this situation, it's much more likely that you, like, with an empty graveyard, you're like, I think you have a better shot to, flip something relevant and like a... So here he flips a Serum Visions in a land. Like, if that had been like another Stubborn Denial, for example, and you don't have the...
Well, I certainly would have delved away, those cards first. Right?
Okay, yeah, so upkeep, we're going to Cryptic tap. And I like the upkeep tapping because it prevents Paul from, like, casting Serum Visions and stuff. Draw a card.
Ooh, drew Engineered.
Okay, I don't hate it. So Serum Visions here. Scry 2.
Draw Bloodstain. I think we're out of fetchable targets.
We can fetch Swamp.
Oh, there's one more Swamp left.
Paul, thinking about... Yeah, Paul's just going to double top that. No sweat. Has a Collective Brutality. Might want to use that. Just get in the hand. He will be able to take a Sphinx's Rev, which is pretty big.
Yeah, the Sphinx's Rev...
3 mana, though. 3 mana Fulminator. Okay. Again, Colonnade's a target for that. I don't hate it.
I kind of do.
You don't like the...
What are you cutting them off of mana from?
Oh, wait. Paul can actually Brutality the last Soldier token here and pitch the useless land. I actually like doing this now and not waiting.
Well, there's no reason to not do it next turn, right? You give your Sam 1 additional draw step.
Okay.
Oh, punished. Punished. No, Sam forgetting to attack first, missing a point of damage.
Could be relevant.
Could be relevant.
The thing is, Paul does just get to go Tassiger.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be a Street Wraith. Oh, it's a Street Wraith, not a Collective Brutality.
A little less exciting. Okay, that certainly makes a lot more sense.
I mean, Street Wraith's still a body.
Yeah. But if it wasn't Collective
right.
Brutality,
It
I
didn't
think
make
you
sense
just
to not
fire it
cast it.
off
Yeah,
immediately.
agreed. Oh, wow. Okay, Paul rips a Stubborn Denial. We're back in this. So he can play Tassiger Street Wraith hold up if he fetches for Swamp.
Let's see how much.
Although he's at 7, I don't hate cycling to 5.
Yeah. So Sam is 1 mana short of Snap Verdict.
Yes.
Which actually.
Yeah, Paul cycles to 5, draws a Colligan's Command. That's huge.
Yeah. Which this is a very defensible reason to Fulminator at that point, because you would cut off like Snap.
Yeah,
anything.
Paul thinking about whether to get back Snapcaster or Death Shadow here.
The Snapcaster is obviously more value because you can snap Colligons and do this again, but the Death Shadow is really what you want to get.
Yeah, if I'm Sam here, I pitch Crucible, not close. Crucible is just so slow.
Yeah, although like the Crucible does.
No, I mean lets you get your Colonnades back, but like EE and maybe you pitch Rev. Actually, maybe Rev because Rev is just draw 2 right now.
Yeah, the E lets you can't pitch the E. That's your only way to not die. Paul, I think I pitched the Rev there.
I agree. Paul does get back the Snapcaster Mage.
Oh, actually no. I definitely pitched Crucible as Paul targeted Snapcaster.
Sure, you're right.
Because
yeah,
obviously the Shadow's backbreaking.
Yeah. Paul will.
Yeah.
Paul will looks like he's going to exile some. So 4 cards with the Tassiger, pass the turn back, has Stubborn Denial up, and that's so... Oh, man. And Sam thinks he's safe now because he has this path, and he's not.
Yeah.
He's just not, and this is just going to be brutal. Stubborn Denial is, like, probably, like, the main reason to play the deck. Just wrecked.
This is like...
How do you beat... The Tasker doesn't die to EE either. That's huge.
E for 6 is pretty difficult to do.
Oh my god. Okay, so actually there is a way to put EE on 6. Your opponent has a Thalia. Wait, no, there's not, is there?
No,
you can't pay
there's
the
no
6
6
color.
color.
Oh, lame. Alright, well, Paul natural draws a Swamp, so the fetch is dead forever. He'll attack with the Tassiger, put Sam to 9. Alright. Says go. Sam untaps, draws a card. Sam draws another Verdict. Okay, so, like, it's not the worst, but this is just going to be a looping sort of thing, because he can snap for the Colligans now.
Right, because Paul has Snap Colligans, he can redeploy the Tasker, or he can just get Death Shadow. Either of these lines.
I like Death Shadow here. Death Shadow is just lethal with the Snapcaster in a turn. Although, but the Tasker is more resilient to EE.
Right. Also, Tasker, like, you win if your opponent doesn't have removal. You just win. Whereas the Tasker allows you to, accumulate value from it. Because you have more lands than you know what to do with.
Yeah, true. Like, Paul has every single land that he can play in play right now. Like, he can tap, he can make 7 mana, and that is all that he is ever able to make with this deck.
Yeah, outside of a Blood Moon, that's as good as it gets.
Shows him the Snapcaster. Sam knows he has it. Yeah, because so Sam's in a tough spot here. He doesn't have a lot of lands. The Fulminators have been, keeping the land count down.
Yeah.
If he's on 7 lands, a rev for 4 is super reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the rev for 4 would never resolve, right? You guys just snap denial.
Yeah, true.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, oh god, Stubborn Denial is without a, is probably, it might be the reason to play this deck. In terms of interacting with silly spell-based decks.
Yeah, you get 1 mana in the gate, and your creatures are usually bigger than yours.
Wow. You can't even give him the Inquisition here. So Shadow Denial, okay, gives back a Fulminator.
I think that's the best pick.
I think that's a hard choice, and you have to do the Fulminator. You can't give him the Inquisition. Your hand is too valuable.
Yeah, Inquisition hits everything but the Verdict, and the information is just, huge.
The information is massive. This is an attack Sam has no choice but to take it. I think he might rev for 2 EOT, but, then you just get denialed. Goes to 5.
I mean, you have to rev, right?
Yeah,
you have to make
you gotta rev. You have to throw it out there. Oh, this is so hard for Sam. Wow.
If I was Paul, I would play the Fulminator.
Sure.
Just as a body.
Because Sam actually only has basics in play, funny enough. So Paul.
This is a resilient body. It also means that you don't lose to some weird shenanigans where maybe you get attacked down from this point.
Yeah, you're not getting attacked though.
Yeah. I think the rev for 2 is as good as it gets.
Not close.
Yeah, we're in really bad shape as is.
Because the thing is, there is lethal damage on board. Now, Paul, if he snap denials here, gets verdicted, that could be so bad.
Yeah, but also, since Paul doesn't know about this verdict, it's really hard to say, draw 2.
Paul has another Death Shadow in hand, too.
Yeah.
So, even if he gets verdicted here, Sam needs to have another out. He says, fine, just lets it resolve.
Okay.
And, alrighty. Sam draws 2 lands.
Yeah, again, we're so far ahead that...
And a 3rd land.
We can afford to play around this.
Yeah, that's fair. Because now... Oh, wait, Sam's up to 7. But now you can go, end of turn...
K-Command.
No, you can't. You can't cast K-Command. You don't have enough mana. You only have 4. The
the Bloodstained Eye is a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we still can just end of turn, just activate Tasker.
Activating Tasker is good.
You only have... normally, there are dead things Inquisition and stuff, but Inquisition is very live.
Inquisition is very live right now. It's actually kind of scary.
Yeah.
So, here, I think Sam has to Verdict, because otherwise he goes to 1. Right?
Yeah.
That's not crazy,
Sam has the Verdict. There are too many things you die to here.
The thing is, the Grixis deck still plays some number of bolts.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, oh, there's no non-basics. Oh, well. Activate Tasker time.
Yeah.
Hold up. Yeah, and you do this before anything resolves. So, flip Mire, flip Thought Scour.
You gotta give him the Thought Scour.
Not close.
Yeah, I think this is not close. The Thought Scour...
Oh, well, I don't know what he gave him, but it wasn't Thought Scour. I think he gave him another Fulminator. Oh, Paul's gonna sack the Fulminator, target his own Bloodstained Mire?
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a target, alright?
Yeah, that's fair.
This just makes future Taskers easier to cast, and you don't have to take 1 to do it.
Oh, good point. EE for... I am...
For 2?
I am puzzled and worried about this decision.
For 2?
On what planet do you EE for 2 here?
I mean, 2 kills to Snapcaster you know your opponent has.
Yeah, but you know what else happens? Is now he can snap... Oh, he could have snap commanded to blow it up. He could have snap commanded Shock Shatter. Oh my god. So Sam has 3 lands in hand. There's a Death Shadow in EE. Oh my god. Sam
That's pretty rough. Yeah, I
puts down 3 lands on the table, and I think he's gonna scoop it up. Paul shows him the set. I'm
really
shocked.
convinced. I'm really confused by that.
Shocked
Engineered.
that this happened. And Sam's just gonna flip cards off the top. I cannot believe that we did not EE on 1.
No, well, you knew about a Snapcaster, so you can't preemptively cast this. You have to wait for them to play Death Shadow first.
Yeah, because the Snapcaster can shatter it with a flashback.
Yeah, so like you can't precast this.
Oh no.
Which is awkward because like if they draw Inquisition, you just lose the game. But I think that's just the reality we have to accept.
You're so far behind no matter what. Wow,
You're so far behind, you have to get lucky already.
Okay, yeah, Dan's gonna hop out of the booth, see if we can get another match. That one very close. Maybe a little bit of a misplay by Sam at the end there, but given the stuff that Dan said and whatnot about knowing about the Snapcaster and things, I don't think it's not the worst thing that's ever happened in Magic. Certainly not the worst play we've ever had on this stream either. Yeah, so, whew. What a game. Yeah, grindy to the end. This is why Grixis Death Shadows this is why the Death Shadow decks are so good. They're very good at killing you. It's something that a Grixis deck really hasn't done in a long time, has been able to just kill. Maybe ever. Oh, wait. Oh, he also had Stubborn now. Good point, Brulumsky. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I buy it. So, yeah, looking at the board, Timely Reinforcements, good. Fog's Blockers, Blessed Alliance, good. Kills dudes. Where were the Rest in Pieces? I think that was a choice that you should have made. Crucible, not a hundo P on Crucible. Runed Halos I like. EE I like. Yeah, so... I don't hate the board outs, but I really don't like the not boarding in the Rest in Pieces.
So, unfortunately, there's only one match still outstanding.
Okay.
Can you guess the match?
Is it Vincent's match?
It is Vincent, who's playing against Martin.
Oh, God. Wait, how is Vincent winning that? Ever?
He is not. He's losing very badly.
Is this the 3rd game?
This is game 2, but, so they both have pretty much every hate card imaginable.
Yeah.
Vincent has a Stoning Silence.
Yeah.
But Martin has, like, Nido naming Nahiri that's on board, also Crucible, and then Snaring Bridge and Relic. Both players have like every hate card in the deck, but I don't know how you beat just like Ghost Quarter every turn.
I don't think.
Or Thopter Sword.
Stony Sounds, bruh.
Oh, sure. How do you beat Ghost Quarter?
Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then Tezzeret just like hits you for 5 a couple times. So eventually they'll get there.
Frankly, Vincent wins more matchups with like terrible blue X piles than he has any right to do.
Oh, absolutely. We have seen on camera. Well, we've seen 2 things, right? We've seen Vincent like get brutalized by by some matchups. We also see him win like unwinnable matchups, like on a regular basis.
Dude's really good at Magic. Who knew? But
the number of times he has beaten Tron on camera.
Or been like, top deck bolt away from beating Tron on camera. It's a little bit dumb.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's the only match here.
Okay, well, we can throw it back up to us. We can chat a little bit. So, like we said, new set coming up.
Yeah.
And you gotta wonder, so standard right now, a little bit cancerous, a little bit like 30%, 20% for decks.
I would be generous and describe it as stale.
Sure.
And I think that is the most generous adjective you could use to describe the format.
Stale is a good word. I think a lot.
Stale's good. Yeah, I think a lot of people are very excited about a shakeup. They did print, one of the most powerful hate cards on Mardu vehicles, like Red X destroy X artifacts.
It seems fine. Probably replace Release of Gremlins.
Will certainly replace Release of Gremlins, and then some.
Do you think that and this is a question that we it came up earlier and we're sort of in the middle of a match, but generally speaking, Do you see any ban list changing this upcoming week?
I can see Sensei.
Because it's on Monday, right?
Yeah, I think so. I can see Top being banned.
You think Top's gonna get banned in Legacy?
Yes.
Ooh, man, that would crush an enormous percentage of Legacy players' happiness.
Yeah, I mean, Miracles is... I mean...
I
things
personally
considered, very
disagree with banning Top.
all things considered, Miracles is a very fair deck. But it's been a best deck for so long
Sure.
that I can see it, like, Wizards making the decision of this is too much. Like, the king needs to be killed.
I honestly think that we would not be having this discussion if there hadn't been a literal road sign outside of WotC's headquarters saying to ban Top.
That's just, just amusing memes.
Right, but like,
But that's not a
but
meme,
like,
but,
okay,
you know.
look, the thing, like, the only ban Top discussion that I've seen generated for this ban list specifically was, hey, someone put up a sign outside of Wizards that said ban Top.
But Miracles has been the king, or has been like one of the best decks in the format since like for years now. Only displaced briefly when everyone was cruising and digging. Even then, like that just ran dig.
Yeah.
But if they want to shake up the format, which Legacy is perhaps not a place where they actually want to do that.
Please, Wizards.
I could see them do it.
Spare Legacy.
There's also a possibility that we see standard unbans. Maybe Reflector Mage is unbanned with the introduction of all these new cards.
Okay.
That's certainly a possible. I don't see Smuggler's Copter being unbanned. Emrakul certainly won't be unbanned.
Dude, can you imagine Smuggler's Copter combined with the card Drakehaven?
Drakehaven?
Oh my god.
Copter
Dan!
Copter also plays very well with
Drakehaven is this 3-mana Dirtily enchantment where every time you cycle or discard a card, you can pay 1 and make a 2/2 flyer. It's like Goblin Slide in cons. Drakehaven's great. Like, that's just the first synergy I thought of. Copter would obviously be very strong in the format.
Copter also plays well with the gods, as the gods are always creatures, so you just infinitely crew it.
Yeah.
You get not infinitely crew, you just get a free crew.
Right, yeah. If your god's not on, you can just be like, Copter, go.
Right. But yeah, other than that, like, I don't see a whole lot of changes. Nothing really stands out in any format.
They're not going to ban Gideon Ally of Zendikar in Standard, along with Felidar Guardian. That would be really bad, actually, I think.
I think they might give the format a chance to test this.
They do have this new ban list cycle where they can be like 5 weeks later we're banning something.
It would be very embarrassing for Wizards, though, if at Pro Tour Amonkhet, that it's just the same decks.
See, that's the thing. So I was actually, I was reading the, I was scrolling through, so what have you brewing with in the, on the subreddit /r/spikes.
Yeah.
And so, so what are you brewing with in new format? And someone was like, Martyr vehicles, same 75, no changes. And like, sure, it's kind of glib and it's like, it's just sort of pithy and of course it gets voted to the top, but like, that's not an unreasonable decision to make.
Absolutely not.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Well, and so it puts Wizards in a very awkward position, right? This happens with a lot of rotating card games. Either you make the newer set more powerful.
Yeah.
Which they experimented with a while.
Yeah.
You get into issues of power creep. This is part of the reason why RTR Innistrad was so powerful. Mm-hmm. Or you print like absurd hate cards for the previous format. And
I really just think if they printed
it's awkward. I mean, now we finally have some level of graveyard hate, right? That we've been asking for, like, I don't know.
Wait. Oh, it's the 2 mana. It's the 2 mana 2/2. That's like sack this. They exile everything but 2.
Yeah, dude, there's a bunch of cards that like interact with the graveyard now. Like, there's nothing that's like.
Oh, there's also the cycling one that's like target 3 cards exiled.
Right. So there's nothing like Relic of Progenitus, but there's ways to interact now.
Sure, I just like. Yeah, I agree that Wizards would have some major egg on their face if people show up to Pro Tour Amonkhet and they're
just
playing
like with the new Planeswalker.
Which one, the Nissa?
No, yeah, the Nissa.
Do you think that card's good?
I think it's quite good. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I personally don't think about Standard too frequently, other than
Sure.
to sort of be like, rip Standard. But
It's a good mana dump. And it slots in very nicely. The problem with the 4-color Saheeli deck is there's just so many good cards you can play.
it turns out that being in 4 colors is great.
It turns out being 4-color with no way to punish the mana base, it's quite good.
Dude, this is why, I mean, they'll never do it, but Blood Moon and Standard, do it, Wizards. Do it, Wizards, you gotta do it.
I guess they didn't print in like Fulminator Mage though.
Honestly, like, literal anything. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think, look, I'd be interested in, like, you know, I would put, I would put, like, you know, a pack of Magic cards on Stone Rain not being reprinted in the next, like, 3 years.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Oh, and like Mark Rosario has talked about this. One of the least fun parts about Magic is when you can't play your spells.
Yes.
Especially for like newer players and you know people who are like
Tilted, yep.
yeah, it's the most upsetting part about Magic, and it's one that a lot of card games don't have. Like,
Yes.
But
it also turns out that, like,
you will never get mana screwed in Hearts though. For example, you would never, you don't experience these kind of issues.
I mean, sure. Like, yes, specifically when you're talking about mana, there are other ways to do it, and that's, like, that's part of the, like, I think it forces some, like, interesting, like, if you knew you were going to curve out perfectly in Magic every single game from, like, 0 to 6,
the deck design would be very different.
it'd be insane. Like, you would, you just be, like, play 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops, 6 drops up the curve. Whereas now in Magic, you have to think about your curve.
Magic cards are designed around the principle of like you have to hit land drops as well.
Right.
Like getting from 2 to 3 is not trivial. It's not free. You're not guaranteed a third land drop, and like as you go up, the threshold's getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
Right. Like if like 5 to 6 is like
A lot.
6 to 7 is like a lot. Yeah, like there's no guarantee you ever even get to 7.
Yeah. Benjamin Barry, I mean, so, like, chat's sort of talking about things. Benjamin Barry says back to basics in Modern.
I mean, hilarious.
No.
Price burgers?
Also no. Like,
I mean, if there's one card to ruin the
my
modern format,
Dude, Burn would literally just be 2-0.
how do you ever like you would have to play like
You have to play Fish.
yeah or like even Fish runs a lot of non-basic. You would have to play the basic version of Fish.
Yeah, you have to play, like, a 20 Island Fish.
Yeah, without like Minamos and
Mutavaults,
stuff.
Cavern of Souls. I mean, you could probably get away with some of that, but, like, then you just draw, like, 2 Caverns and a Mutavault, and you're like, oh, Yeah, no. Back to basics also, no.
It would be quite amusing though.
Oh my god. Well, so, like, that's the thing, I don't think they're gonna reprint Land Destruction ever.
No,
like,
no.
not at less than 4 mana. Like, you do have it at 4 mana.
Yeah, we do have Land Destruction at 4, but at that point, it's not just playable. It's no longer. I mean, if anything, like we had Crumble to Dust for a while. In Standard, just did nothing.
Yeah, because anything less than 3 mana is just bad. All right. I don't know which one of these you want.
This one.
Okay. Yeah, we don't see this very much. I think it's sort of unwinnable for him, but let's try it. Okay, so Dan's gonna hop out of the booth and get us a match for our 4th round. So I will throw it down to the play overlay, do some resetting here, and we should be underway shortly for our 4th and final round of the night. Thanks for sticking with us, everybody, for MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. 4th round on the way. Let's do some overlay resetting. And I know that's not very exciting to say in a somewhat excited voice, but I'm happy about it. I like it when we get matches and, players' games don't run long. Alright, so we're going to put 20 on the board for both players. These are 2 players that we have seen before tonight. They have risen to the top of tonight's weekly. On the right, we are going to have Martin Sheeler. He's playing the Tezzerator stuff. And on the left, we are going to have David Stream. He is playing Grixis Delver. This matchup seems real bad for that deck.
Yeah. Oh, we're taking a slight pause as Martin walks past us.
Yeah, we're gonna stop talking about this matchup. But we saw Martin's deck earlier. He's got cool artifact synergies. He's got
No, I think the deck is very, very interesting, and
it might be a little bit slow, but it's dope.
Right, and I think that's the one downside that David obviously cannot punish, because he himself was playing a bit of a dirtily deck. But yeah,
if you T1 blind flip, you're fine.
it's
hard to beat the T1 blind flip, you know?
Oh, excuse me. I forgot. I forgot he was on.
He's got that second word here.
Yeah, I forgot he was on the second word. We've seen a fair number of like similar decks tonight. So.
That's fair. Yeah. So, but I don't think you beat this combo ever. This combo literally is impossible to beat.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I say it's actually impossible.
You have K commands though, so you're not drawing dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's shocking how relevant the shatter effect on K command is.
Dude, main deck incidental artifact hate in Modern is insane, right? Like,
right.
You think about it, you know, Modern is it's a format where there is an artifact deck that just happens to have been like tier 1 point or 1.5 for basically its entire existence, for the format's existence.
Having main deck like hate for Affinity is just like,
dude, literally just kill their cranial platings and you're never sad. Also, when Infect was big, shatter your Inkmoth Nexus. Like, I don't care if you pump out of shock range, nerd. Like, good luck.
Shatter, yeah, shatter to shatter.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very main deck. But also, like you were saying before, instant speed discard on Kolaghan's command. It's literally just like time walk shock.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of decks that just can't interact with that. Yeah. Like Tron, for example. Like, this just buys you a turn.
Yeah, they just literally can't play an instant speed. Woo, spooky. Looks like David's going to go first. He rolls an 8 to Martin's 7. The other thing is that with Kolaghan's command, the slower sort of return creature mode, you're returning awesome creatures. Like, this is Modern, dude. You can get back Tarmogoyf, you get back Death Shadow. Like, these are real threats. The best is when you have 4 mana with Death Shadow and your opponent goes, like, kill this. And, you know, they kill it with, like, I don't know. They do something on your turn that's not path. They kill it at instant speed.
Sure.
And you're just like...
Get it back, replay it?
Get it back, replay it. Like, we're in the same position we were, and you've discarded another card.
Right.
Yeah, quite good. Martin looking at a hand. Not sure. David looking at a hand. He looks like he might be keeping this one.
Yeah, the important thing with K command is just like you're guaranteed a 2-for-1.
Ooh, and David's going to go land pass. Martin draws that main deck Crucible. Let's go. Shocks to 18.
Crucible, if we can get that online.
You can't lose. You can't
yeah,
lose. It's pretty good. And Martin does have main deck IOK here, so we will see what is up with David. Interestingly, David did not play his turn 1 Thoughtseize. I'm a little bit surprised. I guess he wants to Thought Scour himself. I'm personally always a fan of Thoughtseizing on the play. Although this is Delver, I guess. I don't know. I'm bad at Magic, so it could be wrong.
I mean, it looks like David's desperate. Oh, he has a second land.
That's the thing, right? Like, he has a second land. He'll fetch here. I'm imagining he's going to get a Watery Grave and Thought Scour himself.
Although
I really like, okay.
If David knows the matchup, though, if he knows who he's playing against, there's nothing you want to take on turn 1.
Sure, I just don't, and I also guess there's like, if you don't know, if you're in the dark and you have the choice to do both, you might want to see what they're doing a little bit in case they're like burn and you don't Lava Axe yourself.
But at the same time, if Martin goes like, Temple Garden, Birds of Paradise, you do feel a little silly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
although you do have the Bolt.
Yeah. But here's the Thought Scour. We'll flip a Bloodstained Mire and a Tassiger. I always hate to flip that, especially when you like draw a land and you're just like, oh, if I draw this Tassiger, I could have just played it this turn.
Yeah, and that might have been what David was gunning for. Like, let me get a redraw, see if I can, because you get 2 draws at it.
Yeah.
It's like, let me see if we can draw the Tassiger.
We'll go with the Thoughtseize here. Put him to 15. Martin's hand. Prism. Ghost Quarter. Oh, Ghost Quarter Crucible. Just needs another land. Tezzeret, Thopter Foundry. I think you have to take the Thopter Foundry here.
This is all terrifying.
Oh, yeah, dude. This is like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, you take Thopter Foundry, I think, and I think that's correct.
Yeah, I think that is the correct pick.
And then...
Because it's too easy to just whirl for a sword afterwards.
Agreed. He'll shock, put himself to 13 here. Doing a lot of damage to the life total. This is one of the reasons why I'm not the hugest fan of main deck Thoughtseize and Delver specifically, but it could be worse. Like, Thoughtseize is obviously insane in the Shadow decks. This is a Prism for 1, and Martin needs to remember that, and he does.
Yeah, there's also an argument for taking the Pentap Prism, as it enables, like, a lot of Martin's hand.
Sure, although you do see that he doesn't have the colors required. Oh, wow, and he flips another Tassiger to the second Thought Scour flip, which is just like, I really wish this were in my hand instead.
Just the rub. Look, ironically, like, if they were...
He has another
just
Thought Scour, too.
One card lower, like, he'd have two Tassigers. And
you have you have huge threats. We'll discard, so we'll put a Scalding Tarn into the yard here. I'm going to go down to 12. I'm assuming this will be for a basic island. No need to continue to hurt yourself when you've got your life total the way you want it. Or the,
Yeah.
Oh, I lied. We're down to 10.
Well, also, conversely, against this deck, you're not really facing any pressure, right?
That's true. You do want to try to kill them before they like ghost. Also, if you don't like this keeps your basics in your deck for when they inevitably get ghost quartered.
Yeah, at this point...
Also, I'm pretty sure that bolt is signed by Christopher Rush. That's dope.
At this point, if I'm Martin, if I don't draw a land here, I just play Crucible.
Yeah.
This enables the turn after that I can start ghost quartering myself, and then we're going to hit land traps.
Another Thought Scour here for David, casting 3 of them in the first 3 turns. Has a Serum Visions. I like playing that here. Definitely you want to go with that. So if you draw the fish or Tasker, you can just slam it off the Watery Grave. Top 2 cards look like Delver plus something, and it looks like those are going to get double topped. And we'll go back to the hand here. Tap again. Okay, so this is a Delver. He's got a bolt in hand, and he'll pass. Martin with the draw step. Let's see what he finds.
Did we find a land?
It doesn't look like we did. Oh, I lied. Maybe that's a land. Oh, it's a
an
Mox
opal.
Opal.
Oh, so very close, but not quite. So here, I think we're priced. We have to play the Crucible here if we're not doing anything
Make
else.
some black. Oh, is he targeting him? What?
So the play is the same. He's gonna play the Crucible and then replay the Watery Grave.
The Ghost Quarter, you mean? Oh.
No, replay the Watery Grave.
Oh, that's dope. I like that a lot, actually. He'll shock.
The sequencing is a little bit different.
That's not the worst thing.
No,
and then he
no,
gets to play the Thopter Foundry and pass.
Uh-huh.
Back over to David. Really does want to flip this Delver. Flips it with the Serum Visions. He did set that up, but that's really good here because he does need to kill Martin before Martin whirs for sword.
Which is next turn.
Yes.
Because we do have the third blue source. Although I guess we had the third blue from the... If World reads like Corticolin does, I believe you can tap the... No, it's improvise.
It's improvise, yeah.
So
it doesn't work like that.
yeah, not quite the same. So we can't tap the Thopter Foundry for blue.
We'll go top bottom here with the Scries. Yeah, thinking about it. Let's see. Yeah, really considering here for David.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Thopter Foundry is just so brutal to beat.
You can't beat it, I don't think, actually. You need to draw a K-Command. Plays a second Delver, gets in for 3.
The incredibly awkward part also is that the Thopters fly and equip with the sword.
They trade with
You
the
just
Delver.
trade with a Delver.
Replay Ghost Quarter. Here we go. He can whir for sword and make 1 Thopter.
Yes. We tap all 3 artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
Leave up Ghost Quarter.
Yep.
Okay, I'm considering Mox Opal a land, but
Yeah, you make blue with the Opal. You can't improvise with it.
Yep.
Oh, just gonna pass. Okay, he'll whir end of turn here then. Untap.
Yep.
Upkeep. Might have wanted to fetch there. Oh, he can scry the fetch. Thoughtseize. Oh yeah. I mean, he will whir in response, I assume.
Yeah, this will take the Tezzeret, which is still fine, but I mean we have to whir in response.
Pretty good though. Whir for 2. Leaves up
Leaves up an untapped Crucible world.
Yeah, dude, you know what? Nahiri, man, exile those tapped artifacts.
Yeah, I'm playing around it.
So now he can make a Thopter and gain a life in response to the attack, and then the Thopter maybe gets bolted and he goes to 6, but then he just untaps and makes like a billion things.
Yeah.
I hope that David hasn't forgotten about the bolt. But Tezzeret gets put in the yard. This is a double attack. Martin says, make Thopter go to 14. The problem is he can untap and make like 4 flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just win.
Also gain 4 life.
Yeah. You can go to blocks. David's like, I would not trade the Delver for this.
Ooh, and he does.
Did he? I don't know. He's got a bolt. Like, I would use the bolt.
I think you have to bolt there just to
keep the Delver alive and swinging.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously...
I didn't think this game's over, though.
Yeah.
This combo is very good. This is like this. The whir seems great because you just tutor for it. Like, you don't have to gifts. There used to be like a Thopter gifts list that like Jerry Thompson played, but now you can just
and that's so awkward because you can always all right, I put the
Ghost Quarter your Steam Vents. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah,
I'm actually a little surprised Martin did that. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised he didn't Ghost Quarter himself. Right, yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't Ghost Quarter himself, and then just go up mana.
Sure.
Well, not up. He'll stay the same, but he'll have a play next turn.
Land drop, yeah. Play a Nile Spellbomb. I don't know. Like, maybe he wants to do this at instant speed with the Thopter making, but yeah, so he's going to crack Spellbomb and pay black. So, ooh, wow, that's a big graveyard that's getting exiled here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
All of a sudden, like, David's outs just shrank considerably.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, no. Okay, now this game's over, actually. It's a Welding Jar.
Now K-Command's not even out. Like, I would...
I would honestly concede.
Yeah.
I don't think you win.
Short of Martin forgetting what Thopter Foundry does, I don't know how we win this game.
I think you just lose. Yeah. I think it's over. Hang on, let's see what he's got. Oh, what?
What?
This was unexpected. It's still a 5/5. Still gonna get chumped forever by the.
Yeah, I did not expect that. Especially this is the full Delver list. This has like young Pyromancers and stuff.
Yeah. There are Delver Shadow lists. I don't think they're good. But, like, LOL. Play Delta. I would just Ghost Quarter you. Ghost Quarter you?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try to Ghost Quarter a fetch. And
force him to crack it, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see what he gets here. If he gets a... Well, actually, we won't know if his life total changed or not. Looks like he did get a Blood Crypt tapped, so he'll go to 7. That makes sense, because then, like, you don't want to pull a basic out when you're already getting all your basics pulled out.
Yeah.
Inquisition, target you, take the Bolt. I think you... Oh, you don't have any more... Ooh, wait, okay, so he should have a second Steam Mint, so you'll have to go to 4 to do this, and that'll just be, like, very, very almost dead. The Thopters are so good. They're just little flyer dudes that attack you, and then you die.
Yep.
Then you die.
They block, like, infinitely as well.
Yeah, they're great. You have to have, like, Teamer Battle Rage, but the Grixis Delver deck doesn't play that. Or the Grixis Shadow, for that matter.
Yeah.
How do you actually win?
Well, Teamer Battle Rage is a little bit embarrassing when, like, you don't have Goyfs to also buff. I guess, Battle Rage and Tasker is not the worst, but, like, it's
only 4.
Yeah.
Draw a step for David. He is on very few outs with very little time left. Bomb, 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 bomb.
Yeah, like, next time...
This deck is just tearing it up. Attack for 9. Martin says, great, make a Thopter, gain a life, go to 14. The Welding Jar, too, just so good.
Without Trample, we cannot win this race.
Nope. Make another Thopter, go to 15.
Maybe fetch away here and then make another one.
Wants to block. Double chump. Get those out
double
of there.
block, huh? Interesting.
Maybe he's thinking about Battle Rage math.
Yeah, maybe we're just playing. I mean, we're so far ahead. There's just no reason.
You have Ghost Quarter, you have Crucible, you have Thopter Sword. You literally can't lose.
Yeah.
Oops,
there is actually an argument for not doing that. If you, I guess with Delver in play, you don't have lethal, anyways.
Yeah.
But we can start attacking now. I mean, David's at 4. Like, if you attack for 2, that's
That's half his life.
Yeah.
Replay Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter you. Ooh, magic is fun.
Well, unnecessary. I can't deny that this feels pretty good to do.
Yes.
To Ghost Quarter your opponent out of the game.
Get him on that no permanence. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
I like... So we saw this in Martin's earlier match, too. I really like it. I prefer his aggression to his not aggression.
Uh-huh.
And this is the not aggression part. Like, I think that, make some Thopters,
I think
kill some dudes.
Part of this might be because, like, let's not forget what...
Push. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic. Untap. I mean, you just have 4 blockers just, like, for free.
Yeah. Especially with the Welding Jar, you just no longer have a way to draw out of this.
Make 4 Thopters go to 18. The thing is, this also gains you life, so all that, like, pressure you put on Martin is just dissipated.
Yeah, there's just no recovery from it. Like, it's not like maybe I'll eventually chip in.
Dude, these Wingles are sick, though. Yeah. I like this combo. I like the token art he has.
I am a little bit confused by this double block.
I am also confused because you only need one to like. Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be playing around TBR, but like at this point, like what? These are 9/9s.
Yeah, it's a 9/9.
So TBR doesn't even kill you. I guess TBR bolt does, but
yeah. Here's an attack for 2 in the air. The Delver will block and they will trade. Okay. This is just like this is unwinnable for Grixis.
Yeah, Martin forgot to play land as well.
Why didn't you Ghost Quarter him? No!
When you're so far ahead, it just doesn't matter anymore.
Attack. Okay, we've seen this one before.
Yeah.
Jesus. So good. So good. How do you lose?
Not sure. Also, now we have
Lethal in the air.
in the air.
Yeah, I agree. Schwumpf.
Are we gonna pack it up?
No, we have a Terminate.
Oh, wow.
You should have Ghost Quartered him, dude!
Yeah, well, then you
All
terminate.
right, take...
Oh, no! Ghost Quarter would have been lethal because you just moved the sword onto something else.
Yeah. Dismember another one for full cost. Go to 2. Man, I respect David's battle, like his willingness to battle, but I also think that he is very dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
he's out of basics. He's
like,
gonna pack it in.
What is that card that he just drew?
I don't. That's the new Snapcaster?
Is that Forbidden Alchemy? That looked like a Forbidden Alchemy.
What? Okay. We'll ask him after the match, question mark?
Yeah. I mean, like, I can never blame someone for playing a game out to its conclusion, but the last maybe 8 or 9 turns there, we weren't drawing any outs.
No, you have to draw double Colligan's command there.
Or, I mean, K-Command Snapcaster, but even then, like, you're not ahead.
Sure, but you can battle.
You can battle, yeah.
Rip.
Indeed. Indeed. Alright, but we're going to go sideboard the games now.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the sideboard we go. Alright. Dan going to step away briefly. And Dan's back. Yeah, so here, if you're Martin, you're all about... We'll see probably a similar board as we saw in a previous game against Ryan Bogner. So we'll see, we'll see Padim. Let's go. I love Padim, dude. First off, his name's fun to say. Secondly, he has a cool effect. And third, he just wrecks Grixis.
Yeah, like...
You have to, like, kill it.
You have to kill it.
You have to kill it because... Otherwise, like the Tezzeret synergy too, where you make 5/5 hexproofers. How can you lose?
Never mind that it's literally draw a card draw an extra card every turn.
It's one-sided Howling Mine. That can't be bad.
But the hexproof also super relevant.
Yeah, it turns out when people can't target your creatures with their spells that kill your creatures, it tends to be alright.
It tends to be okay. Padim, however, itself is not an artifact, so you can't whirl for it.
Sure, you have to natural draw it. I wonder if there's there's okay, forget I said anything. I was going to say, what if there was a cord deck with, like, enough artifacts in it to make Padim worth it? But then I was like, that's a bad idea, so...
Yeah, the artifact creatures themselves...
Is there anything? Is there... All right, have a good night, or I guess a good morning, Jetpack Blues.
Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad you appreciate the commentary. We will see you next week. Hopefully, you won't have to stay up till 5:30 a.m. Good lord. But yeah, have a good evening. As we get into game 2 here, Tezzeret were look against. It looks unbeatable on camera because it just plays Grixis.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen a game yet where Martin just has, like, a non-functional draw.
No,
where
honestly,
he draws, like, just trash cards.
all of Martin's draws, like, this is exactly what you want. Like, multiple games where you have, like, Crucible Worlds? Like, Crucible Worlds on a stable board with a Ghost Quarter? Like, this is the actual dream.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so... I don't know. Crucible Ghost Quarter, obviously disgusting. The fact that, so, like, here's the thing, right? Like, you can tutor for Crucible.
Yes.
Like, so most decks, you play a one-of because you can't afford to play more, and it's slow, and sometimes you draw and sometimes you don't. But when you can tutor for it, Watch out.
Watch out, indeed.
Here comes the Ghost Quarter in.
Yeah, so I'm a little surprised Martin's not playing any Spell Skites.
Yeah, Spellskite seems great. We could ask him about that.
Yeah, it might just because he wants to play a creatureless deck, so it turns off all removal.
Sure.
I mean,
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
There have been worse things that have been said to me in my life.
Sure.
Speaking of non-functional, Martin might be mulling here because I don't think he has lands that tap for colors. Maybe he has one Watery Grave. I think he's thinking about it.
Those look like islands and stuff, aren't they?
Is that a Walking Ballista? No, that's a Mox Opal. Never mind. I was very excited for a moment there. Worrying for Walking Ballista, by the way, is not good.
Not good. Not great.
I don't know if that's ever, that may or may not be an interaction that is relevant. Worrying for it, though, quite bad always.
Yeah. I mean, I've played a lot of ballistas or ballistas and handerbacks for 0.
I mean, this triggers Avacyn, I guess?
It triggers Avacyn.
Sure.
Not the worst.
You know what's crazy is, like, outside of, like, some fringe Mardu vehicles play, Archangel Avacyn just, like, fell off the planet.
Yeah.
It just matches up so poorly with Heart.
But, like, think how good of a card it is.
Right, that's the crazy
The
part.
fact that it's not seeing play, like, it just speaks volumes to what the format looks like.
Yeah, this is what like, the disgusting trash that...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. No, like, you think about if you, and so we're sort of distracted here, Serum Visions and Darkslick Shores into Opal, into Welding Jar, into Inquisition. All right, I don't hate it. Get him. Leak, Bolt. Okay, well, I think it's probably, it might be Leak, it might be Command here.
Yeah, but it's certainly one of those two. I mean, Command, again, guarantees the two for one. Leak, however, will counter whatever thing comes down next.
Yeah, like, Leak can counter Tezzeret.
Yeah, so...
And Command is slow.
Yeah, so it depends really on what is in Martin's hand that we can't see.
Yeah.
Like, is there something we want to protect against Mana Leak?
There might be a Tez.
Because the Tez is not coming down for a while.
I mean, yes. If you had another Mox Opal and another free... If you had a Welding Jar, another Mox Opal, a land, and a Tezzeret, and his 4-card hand, he can do that.
Then your hand would be terrible.
You can float.
Oh, no, I mean,
You can float, play Tezzeret, like, come at me, bro.
I mean, turn 2 Tezzeret is pretty powerful.
So I've been told. You can do that in Legacy, I think.
Yes, but then your land's tapped for a lot more.
It's fine. He takes a Colligan's Command. I agree.
I just like...
It's a solid choice.
The level 0 take, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if there's something else that needs to play around, it'll be he probably should have taken the Leak, but the Colligan's Command just, like, is just always going to be good.
Mana Leak also loses a bit of value if you know about it.
Yeah. Ooh, Relic, though. I like Relic. Definitely trying to play some Relics here. Okay,
I'd be tempted to counter this.
I agree, actually. Relic is so good against you.
Relic is very good against you, and it keeps him off of Opal mana.
Yes. I 100% agree, and I'm so, like, here's the thing. This is one of the reasons why I think Tezzeret Whir is, like one of the reasons, like, that this deck is super strong is that, or, like, it has, Martin has been one of, like, I guess, like, something, he's like, his opponents don't necessarily know what to and what not to play around.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's not immediately obvious what's actually good about this deck and, like, what you need to counter.
Yeah.
Like, having seen, like, Tezzerets and stuff, like, you're, like, or, like, swords and foundries, it's like, Relic, I don't really care, but also, like...
But in the dark, Relic is an absurdly good card against you.
Relic is quite good against you. I think that, if I were Martin, I would consider upkeeping the Relic, especially if David Thought Scours.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was surprised Martin didn't Relic in response to the fetch.
Okay, here we go. So yeah, so upkeep, I absolutely just say crack Relic and...
I wasn't going to say crack Relic. I was just tap Relic.
I don't hate cracking it either. It keeps him off of Tasker, and he's blown his enabler. As someone who plays Grixis a lot, that shit hurts.
Yeah, but, I mean, half of David's hand, he would have had to draw the Tasker immediately from here.
Sure.
Also, Relic has a lot of value. If you crack the Relic, you turn off your Opal.
Oh, that's fair. Turning off the Opal's pretty bad, actually.
And
One mana
and Martin,
Serum Visions.
Yeah,
okay.
and if David isn't doing anything with this, you can just Relic him every turn.
So David, if he tops these scries, I'm a little bit curious about why he didn't crack the fetch. But I guess he's only going to top 1 scry. Still not the... if he wants a mana leak, though, he loses the scry, so...
Yeah, which...
That makes me sad.
Easy thing to forget.
I've done that so many times in my life. Oh, Martin Relics, pops Relic, end of turn. I was right. Get wrecked and won. Draw step. He has an Academy Ruins. Pretty great.
Yeah, Academy Ruins can't mana like that.
And I think you probably just try to jam. He's gonna jam a 3-drop here. I think he's just playing sort of 3-drop bait. This gets leaked, not close. If you don't leak this, you are sad. I guess if he has Artifact Destruction on top, it's okay. But like,
don't forget, there's a Welding Jar in play. You would need.
Oh, you're right. You gotta leak this, my friend.
This is what?
Thought Scour response. I am skeptical.
Thought Scour you.
Oh my god, he Thought Scoured him into the Ghost Quarter. Please!
It's a disaster!
I mean, he would have drawn it, but, like, it's still a disaster. Here we go. Ghost Quarter every turn online.
I mean, I don't think we go onto that plane yet, right? We gotta stabilize first.
Okay. I don't see any threats.
Well, you don't have an answer to any threat. Like, I would, like, develop my board first.
I don't see their threats, though.
Yeah. I mean...
Your threat is the Crucible.
The thing is, like, you can't Ghost Quarter lock them for, like, 4 or 5 turns.
He already has a Swamp out. Oh, Rakdos Charm? Okay. Martin just lets it go? Really?
I mean, we have Academy Ruins. We just don't care. I would rather keep the Welding Jar.
Oh, true. I guess Academy Ruins is really good.
Yeah.
That was what he kept on top. Rakdos Charm.
Actually...
Damn, bold. All right, 3-mana Ensnaring Bridge.
Actually,
again.
no. You know, I take that back. Welding Jar is much easier to get back.
Yeah.
I think
yeah, Welding Jar, like, you just play for free when you draw it.
Right, and also this guarantees that you can, like, hit a land drop next turn. Like,
yeah.
And it's a land drop with value.
Right,
you know,
I agree. No.
I think I would have cracked the Welding Jar there. Although, on the flip side... No, I mean, because you play the bridge here, and then your Opal is still online.
Yeah, unless it gets countered.
Yeah.
But you do get to make a land drop, or wait, no, you don't, because the Crucible's gone. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It's also so much more mana to like have to like Academy this back.
Right. I think that's what I most strongly take objection to is like you have to be willing to like you if you want to pay 3 again, like be my guest. But you said you could pay 2 off of Ruins and that's it, right?
So this is defensible, if you want to protect this bridge.
Yeah, okay, but the leak hits the bridge, and that's gonna do it. So yeah, the bridge is gone. Gets hit by the leak there. Not ideal, but again, like, you know, if David's out of threats, then this is it, right? Mm-hmm. Or if David doesn't have threats, you're literally just sitting here not doing anything.
And it looks like David kept a very slow hand.
Yeah, it seems pretty threat light.
Mm-hmm. Which for Martin is the dream.
No. Okay, well if this gets leaked, it's okay. Yeah, Snap Leak is pretty good here. Martin says fine. Like I guess you get to leak my Planeswalker. That's cool, dude.
And Martin's looking at a single Fatal Push in hand.
That's fine. You can push the Snapcaster. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
So CW8 Smith, Crucible got Rakdos Charmed.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, now we have a naked Welding Jar sitting here, not really doing anything.
Right.
If you kept the Crucible around, like, think how much value you could be accruing here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nile Spellbomb the draw here for Martin. That'll be a redraw, too. He's got plenty of mana, so not really worried about that too much.
Again, if he cracks a Nile turning off Opal, I think Martin's content taking 2 for a while here.
I mean, if you have the push, though, like, I guess you're, like, looking to push a Delver?
Yeah,
Martin, like there's not really a lot to put. Oh wait, no, you saw Shadow. You hold it for Shadow. Never mind.
Sure, Martin. If I was Martin, I would be inclined to get back to not the Crucible, the Ensnaring Bridge here.
Sure.
And then we can replay the Ensnaring Bridge.
Absolutely, yeah. No, the Academy Ruins is just endless value.
Yeah, and then the turn after we Crucible, then we can start the Ghost Quarter lock.
I agree. Here we go. Draw step. Draw a card.
What did we draw?
I think we drew Ensnaring Bridge.
Oh man, how lucky.
Yeah, it's pretty good in this situation, actually.
Yeah, I would definitely tap the Opal just in case because that's definitely your worst, land per se.
You were mistaken.
And I would not tap the.
I wouldn't tap the
Academy.
ruins because you can get stuff back end of turn with it.
Yeah, like not necessarily saying that you're going
Snapcaster?
to.
Okay, probably target Rakdos Charm. Oh, Spellbomb response though. Get wrecked.
Yeah. I mean, difficult to play around that.
Well,
right?
now Martin has. Oh wait, Martin. Oh, he can just push one and then the other one can't get through the bridge, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. Especially, yeah. Okay, so ensnaring bridge is actually super duper good.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, again though, he could have just blown the welding jar to save. Like you make David target a thing. You say Martin's just gonna take 4 here. You say like, you say target Rakdos Charm. Like cool, like sack this spellbomb. Get that out of the graveyard. I don't know. I also don't like just taking the damage for free here. Like
No,
like there's you gotta have.
I think Mara's
hello.
playing a little bit too safe.
Colligan's command, probably discard Shatter. Jar to save the bridge. I feel like he discards Push. Okay, I guess he's just hoping that the bridge lock is good.
What's the last hand? The last card?
I can't tell. It's a War.
Okay, so obviously worth protecting. I'm shocked.
Worth protecting.
Yeah.
Graph Diggers. Okay,
Okay.
don't hate it.
However, oh no, Graphic interacts favorably with Academy runes.
Yeah, you just put
Yeah.
just put it on top. It's okay. The Snapcasters can no longer attack. We can't whir right now. Actually, we don't have a third blue. Might have to go score.
We do have a third blue. We have Opal.
Oh, you're right. Good point. Shattering Spree. Replicate it twice. Ooh.
Oh baby.
He could whir for Welding Jar here and save one of them.
Yeah. I mean,
I
yes.
think you have to save the bridge.
I think you have to say something, or you can just whir for another bridge.
Oh, true. Whir for another bridge is BM too. You're just like ah.
Actually, I think certainly we have to whirl.
Yeah, one. I'm a little bit confused. He floated a blue. I guess he floated, but like, he's gonna put bridge back on top. I don't understand why we didn't.
I'm very confused. Why
I
didn't
don't understand
we
we did
use
just
the
whir for bridge. Is it not whir in his hand? It is whir.
That's a whir.
He just yeah. Well, he draws the bridge again.
But like, if David has like counterspell, like mana leak, you just like we're getting very close to losing the game.
I agree. No, this is very.
Like we've taken so much damage for no reason.
Yeah, that's fair. The damage for no reason part is like if you word for a bridge there, you're still at 12. That's much more comfortable than 8. Like we're bolt snap bolt away from losing, right?
Yeah. What are we saving this world for? Like, are we saving it for out of half the Thopter count?
I don't think you can afford to at this point.
No,
but again,
I don't
know how this deck works, so who knows?
Again, like, I disagree with some of the lines that Martin's taken. The not saving the Crucible. If we kept the Crucible around, we would have hit like
every land drop.
Every land drop, we could have.
We could have even ghost quartered ourselves to get basics and stuff.
The next turn, after we cracked the Welding Jar, we could have immediately like upkeep, put the Welding Jar back on top. Now we have protection again.
Yeah, no, like you have Crucible forever.
Yeah.
And I think that this Whir being in hand for so long is like what is it getting that is so valuable? Now the Opal doesn't even tap for mana.
Yeah. Although admittedly, like the Vandal Blast would have been very good because you can just.
That's a Shattering Spree.
Oh, Shattering Spree, sure.
Tassiger. Against the bridge, not great.
Yeah.
It does activate though, so.
Yeah, he did leave just K Command and Shattering
Spree
Spree in the graveyard.
Quite good if he flips 2 lands off to Tass. Top card. Did he draw? I think he drew Foundry. Oh, not punished. Literally not punished. Don't tap your blue to do it though. Oh, I guess you have to.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is fine.
This is fine. We still have Whirl up.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No. Yeah. No, he has to tap a blue mana. He does. It's not Convoke. It's
Right. No, you're absolutely correct.
he doesn't have.
Well, we have the Opal for the third, but yeah.
Yeah, but he has to tap one of the blue here, so he's.
I don't
he's
think we
short
can
blue.
play this.
You don't think you play Foundry here? Bam. It's a little bit dangerous. I think
shields are completely down this turn.
Yep. I agree. Draw step.
If David draws a K Command, you just lose the game. Which again, we wouldn't have been in that spot if we just didn't take like 2 and 4 for like so many turns.
Yeah, I think here Martin needs to EOT the welding jar back to the top. EOT the welding jar were for sword.
Yeah, absolutely. The welding jar gives you protection, although like against Shattering Spree, obviously
It could be worse.
it still will save the bridge.
It'll say, yeah, that's the thing. It's
Which
like
is
it keeps
the
a bridge
important
alive. Yeah, get the welding jar back. Waiting.
We can't whirl.
No, we can't. I think David's thinking about maybe sorcery activating Tezzeret. Martin thinking about what he wants to do here. Yeah, I don't know. I really think that that just like some of the earlier lines did not go as Martin thought they were going to go or whatever.
Yeah, ultimately, I'm not sure if it's going to matter. Like, Martin's still in, like, reasonable shape. But we're getting to the point, like, we're giving our opponent outs.
So he gets the welding jar on top. Now he can pass. Now he can, hold up, now he can whir end of turn for something. Probably the sword. Blue. 1, 2... Whir, flip it over. David's going to do something. David's going to remand the whir. Draw a card. It's not the worst.
No, I mean, kind of necessary.
Sort of have to, yeah. Untap. I mean, now Martin can whir again, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of the price of remand, right? You're
right. But, like, activate. Okay, so Martin's going to float a mana, play a second opal, and then tap for 2 again. He does have leak protection here, so it's pretty safe. And he will get the sword, and David is going to scoop up the game. Okay, and that's going to do it. Martin Sheeler taking it down. Tezzeret were looking great on camera all night against 2 Grixis decks.
Yeah. Martin definitely took a couple of lines that, perhaps I would have chosen differently, but ultimately it just ended up not mattering. It's very difficult to grind through like this much incremental value.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like once they get the bridge down and they have a welding jar and that you can't answer the bridge, like you don't. It's just like bridge is just it's so bad because he can always attack with the Thopters that aren't equipped with the sword.
Right.
So,
like if you're trying to 1-for-1 or play fair magic, you're just gonna fall behind eventually.
Yeah, so like if you keep them off the bridge for long enough. I don't think that there's I think that there's like if you have surgicals, for example, in the board, this is a deck where you bring them in and you just like try to surgical their key pieces. Snapcaster let's say you surgical, like you could have surgical the bridge at a lot of points that game.
Mm-hmm.
And like what if you kill the foundry and you surgical it, or you snap surgical the sword in response to like them tapping out to make a Thopter.
Absolutely.
Like it's there's a lot of like I think that card, like most of the time I'm sort of down on surgical just because like I think people do it on the wrong targets a lot, but like I think against Martin's deck you want the surgicals, and I don't know if David was playing them or not, but it just like it seems like a matchup that's hard to win without sort of getting lucky with like take your key synergy piece,
or to just apply a quick enough clock, which like I mean we're like talking like turn 15-20 here. Like certainly was not able to.
That's true. David's hand was super slow, and that's the problem with Grixis like any deck, sort of in the Delver decks, so in the this had Death Shadow in it, but it all like I was very sort of confused about what's actually going on in the deck. But if you're that threat dense, I feel like it's hard to justify like not being able to clock your opponent. Like the handicap was reasonable, and if he had found like a real threat in the top 4 or 5 cards, he might have won the game. Mm-hmm. It's just like that's what happens with Grixis Delver sometimes, and that's why I think like personally I prefer just like play the shadow build because you have more like you have Street Race to cycle to your threats, like your threats are bigger.
You're playing a 52 card deck.
You're playing 56. You have to you don't have
excuse me. Sorry, I'm thinking
for the Jund one.
I'm thinking of the Jund one.
Yeah, but for the Grixis one, like you do, you have 8, and then you're in a 56 card deck, so it's like it's all right. So with that match wrapping up, that is also going to bring us towards the end of the stream. Before we go, though, we do want to say a few words. This stream is sponsored by MTGCardMarket. We are a shop on the north side of Chicago off the Belmont Red Line stop, just a few blocks to the west on Belmont. Mm-hmm. And we have some events coming up at the shop. The first one is this weekend. It is the Mtgcard pre-release.
Yeah, MTG Card Market, I believe, is having 5 pre-releases, starting with the midnight one on Friday evening.
Midnight Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a discount as well if you sign up for all 5. All this information can be found on mtgcardmarket.com or the Facebook page for MTG Card Market.
Yeah, this thing right below Dan here.
Yeah.
That one.
Following that, there's the release weekend next weekend, and also a sealed PPTQ on the 29th.
For Mtgcard.
For Mtgcard,
So, like,
yes.
right as the set comes out, basically probably the first PPTQ of this season.
Yeah.
Like, no one can go faster than the release weekend. So, yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, if you figure out the limited format, come out for that. The weekend after, we got Team Constructed.
Okay.
This follows the SCG format of Standard Modern Legacy. There's also a 1.5K with a cap on, I believe...
30. Yeah, it's a 30-team event. Again, you can find more information on mtgcardmarket.com or on their Facebook page. But yeah, Standard Modern Legacy, $1,500 prize pool. Team Constructed is like honestly like the breakout format of these recent months.
Honestly, like as someone who's like played the first one of it,
Yeah.
it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like one of the best parts of Magic is you get to like hang out with friends. You know, you get to like between rounds.
Yeah.
This you're hanging out with friends like during the rounds.
Sure.
You always have someone to commiserate with. It's a good time. And the last one after that is there's going to be a standard 1K GPT for Las Vegas on May 13th. And this will be the last GPT
Of ever.
Yeah, outside of like at a GP.
Yeah.
So with that,
actually, so to answer one question in the chat, CW8 Smith, I do not think, or there are currently no plans in place to stream the Team Constructed event. Unfortunately, I will be away that weekend, and you will probably be playing it.
yes, most likely.
Okay, yeah, and it, yeah. So with me being out of town, it seems unlikely, and there aren't plans in place yet. So
Yeah, but if there is demand, like, well, we could certainly consider it.
yeah, we definitely could consider it, and for future events as well. So with that, though, that's going to bring the stream to a close. Thanks for sticking with us through the stream tonight, everybody. This is MTG Card Market Wednesday Night Modern. We will see you next week for more Modern.